The Top 6 show is back. The first time since, I believe, May 2017, that all Premier League top 6 teams won their game over the course of the weekend. We're looking at all those results. Liverpool smashing up Bournemouth, making us look like the Farmers League. Man United with their third back-to-back wins in 12 months. Arsenal stay top. Spurs breathing down their necks. Haaland on fire, and Chelsea doing it with 10 men. Also taking a look at Cristiano Ronaldo to Chelsea, back on, according to the media reports. Jorge Mendes is pushing hard. Wilfried Zaha could be an option for Chelsea as well, with the Aubameyang interest reportedly cooling, even though some are stating he's still the priority. We're going to delve into that and much, much more for you on the show. Any questions or subjects you want us to speak about, make sure you're getting them comments in. But look at my beautiful, smiling, happy panel. They're definitely happier than that poor woman that was walking under a bus stop at Carnival anyway. Like, definitely happier than her. Honestly, that made me feel old and glad I don't go anymore. Great Carnival. But yeah, none of that bus stop stuff.
When you're whining on top of bus stations and all of that, what do you expect, man? Come on, that was wild.
I know. It was
mad. That happens every year.
Look, I haven't seen a bus stop land on a woman's neck before. Like, that's a new one.
No, I don't mean that. But I see a video of somebody breaking a bus station every year at Carnival.
Yeah.
It's better than what used to happen at Carnival 10 plus years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, give me the bus breaking all the time. So it's really, really good. But boys, good weekends. Everyone happy? The teams picked up the W's?
Yeah, man. I feel good. Yeah, 9-0 is mad. That is mental.
Yeah, I have the best right back in the world, so can't not be happy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that because Trent also had a good game. Trent had a good game.
You know what? Liverpool, one game and Liverpool are back. It's crazy.
Well, that's the nature of the league. Man United were rock bottom a week ago. Literally a week ago. A week ago today, we're rock bottom. Now we're sitting like 8th, and we were 6th for a period. Do you know what I mean? So we're in and around where I predicted. So I'm happy. But lots to talk about. The first subject is Man United, actually. 100 million euros, 84 million pounds, 7.8 billion Indian rupees, and I did get told that in Korean yen it's about 500 billion. So United have spent big money on Antony. How you feeling, Kaz? More Brazilian samba and flair at Old Trafford.
I don't mind, man. The Dutch samba boys are here, ready to rock, ready to take the league by storm in terms of getting us from 8th place to 5th place. But other than that, yeah, man. I mean, we have overpaid. Is what it is, but am I going to be annoyed by it? No, I'm not. Glazers out always. And also on top of that, it's just he brings a different element to the squad. As in, we ain't had a right winger since Antonio Valencia. No.
Jadon Sancho.
a proper right winger since probably Antonio Valencia. He was a different type of winger. So you could say someone like Luis Nani, maybe, even back dating to Ronaldo potentially, but we ain't had one. We've been screaming this out for years and years. We ain't had a proper right winger in forever. So I'm delighted with the signing, of course, because we don't have a player like it. Except maybe you could say he's a bit similar to Sancho.
Does he automatically go into that starting lineup?
All day long. Like what Ten Hag has done, he's taken out Shaw, Maguire, and Alanga out of the starting lineup. Thank you very much.
I think Sancho goes on the left then. Sorry, Egal. Do you think Sancho goes on the left then, Kaz?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he does. I think his best position is on the left. But the best thing is that both of them can play either side as well. So if you wanted to change it around, then you can.
I'm looking forward to seeing. First game is going to be against us. Am I wrong? He's not going to make it in time for Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester. He's just landed in the UK today. Medical's happening. Normally takes around 2 days for that to happen. It'll probably be. They may squeeze him through for Thursday. He might be on the bench, but he, according to some reports out of Brazil, he is buzzing at the idea of playing Arsenal in his first game. Like this kid, when you read about him, this kid's had the bit between his teeth to always be a Prem player. Kind of grew up watching it, loved it, and yeah, he wants his first game will be against Arsenal, who we'll get onto later, but top of the league and flying. And I'm a bit like you, Kaz. I'm buzzing about the idea of seeing him. I know he's overpriced, but Morgan Gibbs White's 44 million. Fofana is on for like similar. You actually look at it like Liverpool spent 100 million euros on. Listen, Darwin Núñez scored a lot of goals, but was doing it in Portugal. And a lot of people have questioned his touch. Is he too raw for that amount of money? Will he be able to return it? So there's a lot of players with big question marks against them this year that have gone for big money. The question I've got for the panel is more for our rivals. Do you think he's going to be a hit at 84 million or 100 million euros in the Premier League. Is this good business by Man United? £197 million now spent. Him, Casemiro, Ericsson, Martinez, and Malacia. Have United done good business? Plus the Bradco, the backup. Have Man United done good business?
Yeah, they have.
No,
can I go? No, you can't go, Kaz. It's for rivals.
I want to Patrick, let me just jump in here quick.
It's a good signing, but it's bad business. Good
signing, Gal, you go first.
I just want to say, I was on here a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying to you, Terry and Kaz, just get it done. Because you guys know you've wanted him. You already have the plan. Managers already worked for him. And good job. You got your guy. You got what you wanted to do, and you didn't go and get you didn't go and get a random signing like a Dybala or a Gakpo last minute, or just change your whole direction. You stuck by your guns. You got who you wanted. It doesn't matter how much you paid for him at this moment in time. If he performs, which I think he will, but I think it's going to take him a little bit longer to adjust with the change of the league. Even though he has the same manager, I'm probably saying this whole first year, realistically, I'm not expecting a lot from him. I'm thinking maybe next year you're going to see the true Antony. This year, you're probably just going to see how every Premier League player comes in the first year and finds it difficult to adjust. He's gonna find it difficult to adjust for the first year.
Yeah, and I want to interject on that. I think it's good business. I think you guys have signed some good players. I mean, Casemiro, no one saw that coming. That came out of nowhere. You got him in. He's a quality player, one of the best DMs in the world. Antony, yes, it's overpriced. It's too early to say if it's going to be a hit. He's young. It's going to take him time to adjust to the Premier League. But really and truly, he's only 22. He's got a long career ahead of him. So realistically, it should be a hit. And the other guys, I mean, Malacia, whatever his name, how we pronounce it, he's come in and looked good straight away. So to be fair, you guys are strengthened in key positions. And these guys are coming in and they're going to be key players for you. So I think you guys have done good business, to be honest. Considering it's been Glazers out and all of the Furor and everything going on, that they've actually done well for you lot. So it's a bit ironic.
Just to echo what Egal was saying as well, like, you've got your man. I mean, this is a man that you guys have wanted. It's like it's clear to see it's an Erik ten Hag signing. So in that regard, I mean, he's got the player that he wants. He's not having to go and, bend over backwards and say, all right, I want Antony, but let's just go, as Egal said, get a Gakpo or get someone else that might fit the profile but isn't the right player. I mean, you got the right player and it's great. The question I've got, though, is he the player that's going to give the output that Man United necessarily need now? Because we're looking at that striker, and that striker is still an area that obviously United can still strengthen in. Now, if you look at the wingers that we've got in the Prem currently, so your Salahs, your Sons, your Kulusevskis, they're all giving up. The reason why they're doing well is because they're giving us output, but in regards to goals. Now, for me, he seems like the type of winger, as Kaz said on numerous streams before, he's much more creative. He's a much more old school type of winger. So how that works out in terms of what he delivers on the pitch, I mean, that remains to be seen. But on the face of it, yeah, I mean, they got their man, so you can't really complain.
I hear you, but he is a different type of wing. The thing is with Salah and Son and all them man there, they're inside forwards. This guy's an inverted winger. There's a difference in terms of playing styles, in terms of these wingers, because then we can say as well, I get you though. The striker is the big question. Can you get the 20? You got creative people around you. Who's going to get the goals? Bruno Fernandes, potentially. Van der Beek, if he gets a run of games, potentially. I don't know. Is Martial going to live up to the boots? Is Ronaldo going to be here next time? I have no clue. But no, but the thing is, Man United have been paying over the odds for players for years, even back before Fergie, 30 million, Rio Ferdinand. You could even go back to Sebastian Veron, overpaying for people for years and years and years. But it's just weird how we're ruining the market now after there's been other signings. Jack Grealish, to notably say.
I know, yeah. You know what? When I said that, I was actually joking. And the thing is, so many people thought I was being serious. I was like, come on, I'm actually taking the piss. No, I was actually messing about. You can even see it in my responses. Chelsea, I mean, loads of teams.
It wasn't you, it was us.
They have overpaid for players. So I was actually messing about, but it's so funny how people take
apparently we're ruining the market all the time. Why Man United, when we make a sign, why are we always ruining the market when there's been other ludicrous signings? Havertz, Lukaku, to notably, that's on the just Chelsea side, by the way.
Why one of those guys scored a Champions League winning goal, man. Worth
that's nice. And that's nice. And Mustafi won a World Cup and what? But what's it called? Long story short, it's just that it is what it is. It's the agenda's gonna run. I don't mind it. I mean, yeah, it was bad business, but a good signing. And
no, it's not bad business. It's actually good business.
All I can say, what they should have done. Yeah, it's like, okay, we're gonna pay over the odds, but then after that, we need to ask for Patrick's skincare routine because that's looking like $1 million right now too.
Patrick, you are looking good, bro. You are looking good. You are looking good.
I'm humbled. I'm humbled.
For me, I look at it a little bit different, right? I'm seeing a lot of comments like this here. Where has it gone? This is Man United's biggest mistake, not getting Antony and Martinez at the start. Would have got them both for 80 mil. What I would say about this is I find these kind of things ironic. I put out videos sometimes that will give a transfer story from I don't know, Fabrice Hawkins as a journalist, and people say until Fab says it, I'm not believing it. But if you listen to what Fabrizio said in his most recent video where he phoned Antony, Antony's been pushing for this move since February. And in February, they told Antony if they get a sensible bid, they'll let him go. Man United bid 54 million first, which is 20 million above his valuation. They then bid around low 60s and then high 60s. They then bid low 70s and high 70s. And in the end went to 84 million. So I don't like defending Manchester United, the board and how we do things. But this wasn't about us dragging our heels. It was about Ajax continuously saying no, 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 no. And the problem that you've got if you're Man United, and this is all about whether the player delivers or not, and I'll get onto that. If you turn around and go, do you know what, sod it, we're not going above 60 million, we're walking away. And then next summer, Liverpool come in and buy him, or Arsenal buy him, or Tottenham or Chelsea, for less than that, 50 million or 60 million or 70 million. And then he kills it and he's amazing. You then look back and go, it would have been worth paying 84 million pounds to make sure that you've got him and your rivals don't. And the thing about the price of a player is that they need to deliver. And it may take a year to settle, but I think he'll do well at Man United. And the reason that I say that is because we're making mistakes, but we're kind of doing what we do at the beginning of all our new manager reigns. We're giving them what they want. We're allowing him to manage the squad the way he wants to. And as soon as he's remove some of the problem players in terms of personality and or quality, and he gave a few of them an opportunity in those first two games, Man United have got much better. Brilliant against Liverpool, I felt, for where we were and where Liverpool are and the overall night. And I rewatched the Southampton game, and first half we should have been 2 or 3-0 up. In the second half towards the end, we did hold on, and there was a couple of good saves from De Gea and a clearance off the line. But when I rewatched it, you saw how resolute we were, how good our shape was, how we actually fought until the end. That hasn't been something you could look at a Man United team and say for 18 months, which has been part of my embarrassment. And I look at that as being driven by the new signings, the players that Ten Hag has put faith in. Some of our existing players have then elevated their games. And if Antony comes in and does half as well as so far what Malacia and Lisandro Martinez have done, I think he'll be a hit. I think he'll do his job well. And if he's creating opportunities and chances, we do have players like Rashford isn't a creator. But if you put balls on a plate to him, he scores. Martial will score if they're having stuff created. These aren't players who will create 5 to 10 chances a season for themselves and score goals. If you're putting it on a plate, they'll do Rashford's goal against Liverpool. It was put on a plate for him. And I think Antony will help us to do that. And I do believe on paper, it's a very good signing. I'm very excited to see him in a Man United shirt. And do I care that he cost 84 million? I kind of do and I don't. There's part of me
you something on that.
I get dragged over the coals, but at the same time, I believe this player is seriously talented because I trust in the talent ID of Erik ten Hag. When everyone laughed at 50 million pounds for Lisandro Martinez because he's a hobbit, everyone laughed at us and said it was a stupid deal. And the last 2 games, he's put in man of the match performances. He hasn't lost. Like, I don't care what the stat says that he lost an aerial drill. I've got Y-Scout. I can look at every single aerial drill. He's got his head to every cross that's come into that box, every header. He fights. He can play out from the back. So if Antony is as good in his position as Lisandro Martinez has been so far, I'm excited.
Let me ask you this, Terry and Kaz. Kaz kept saying bad business. Do you think it's Manchester United's reputation at this point where teams will be like, you bid 50 million, you bid 60 million. That is the original valuation that they're saying that they're putting out there. They'll test your resolve and maybe reject it just to test you guys.
Do you want me to go on that first? Why is bad business? Because we could have done these deals 2 months ago.
No, you didn't hear my point. Is it Manchester United's reputation in the market that needs to change in order?
You can't. The thing is, right, we've definitely overspent in this window, but the thing is, it's how do you recover from that? Because that can't run next window. It really can't. And maybe I guarantee they're going to say next season, if they're still in charge of us, that we dipped into the transfer summer window to get some players from last year. That's probably what's going to be the excuse if you don't get nobody. I can just see it happening. It's written already.
I think it's part their reputation, but then also the predicament we find ourselves in. So we needed new players, and you can be strapped up in that circumstance because we had to buy new players. We couldn't get away with missing out on, last year, City felt like Kane was overpriced at his age and whatever else was going on. City weren't in a desperate need for him because they still won the league without him. It gives you power in negotiation. Everybody knows we need players because we're absolutely dying on our ass. It's the worst. This was the worst performing Manchester United team since World War II. You can't sit down in a meeting and hide that fact. Do you get where I'm coming from? So you're in debt when you're desperate for something. It's very easy to exploit people for money because it's either take it at this price or not at all. You've seen. Did you guys watch that documentary on Woodstock on Netflix? It's about the festival. It is crazy, but there's a moment where loads of water and food run out. So the places that were selling it put their prices up. And by the way, this was like in the late 90s, early noughties. They put their prices of water up from like $2 a bottle to like $15 because everyone was desperate for it and would pay it. And that's what's happening to Manchester. There's a reason for this story. That's what people are doing to Man United. We know you need new defenders. We know you need new midfielders. We know you need new wingers. That's the price, or you don't get them. How we'll get players slightly cheaper is by actually being better at football on the football pitch. It's a little bit chicken and egg, really. But it's a great question. So there we go. Yeah, no, I think that's where we're at. There's some super chats here. We'll save the Chelsea ones when we get on to Chelsea people. Add another 20 million and could have gotten Nkunku. Potentially, we could have done, but he's a support striker, so he plays where Bruno does. They were never going to do that. United missed out on De Jong, Rabiot, and Arnautovic, so United has the money to spend 85 million on Antony, who's only proved himself in Holland. Another Ziyech. He could be another Ziyech, but he could be another Ian Robben. He could be another Ruud van Nistelrooy. He could be another Gini Wijnaldum, Dennis Bergkamp. He could be another Park Ji-sung. He could be any. There's been lots of players that have come
compare him to Dennis Bergkamp yet.
No, I'm not saying in style of play. I mean being a success because he's never going to be a Ruud van Nistelrooy either. He could be a Van Persie. Like someone said to me today, you can't name. Jaap Stam made it here. Like lots of players from Holland and the Netherlands have made it in the Premier League. But equally, he could be a Ziyech. Who's the guy you bought at Tottenham that was killing it over there and died
Steven
here?
Bergwijn.
No, years ago. Striker.
Davinson Sanchez. You're talking Soldado. That was
no.
Soldado from.
There was a guy in the middle who played for AZ Alkmaar.
Oh, Victor Janssen. Yeah, Vincent Janssen.
And it does happen. Chelsea got Lukaku for 97 million pounds. Antony at 85 million is nothing. I get where you're coming from with the banter.
I don't think he's going to perform to the level of an 85 million pound player.
Well, it depends, isn't it? It depends.
It's more as you said.
Egal, what does that mean though? What do you mean by that?
I don't think like he's going to perform to the level of like the top players that are valued that high at this moment in time. To look at how many other players could you name that would be around that price tag?
I mean, Anthony Gordon clearly could be rated by Chelsea at 60 million. So
but not 85 though. 85.
Yeah, but
how
long
if you want to secure him?
When you're 85, you have to be one of the top 3 or 4 players in your position.
People are going to judge him off his price. I'm not saying it's fair, but people will judge him off his price. That is.
How long does he get though? That's the question. How long does he get? If he
85 mil, you don't get time. People won't be patient.
I think
people won't be patient. Everyone wants to sit here and be like, no, we'll give him time. It's fine. Don't worry, he's a young player. Let's be honest. If he drops 3 stinkers in a row, half the people in the fan base are going to turn on him and start calling him out. That's just how it is.
He should be given a year. He should be given a year, but immediately from like the first couple of games, rivals are going to be onto him.
But the thing is, you say that, but like from a neutral's perspective, though, if he goes and if he's a main key part of United and they have the progression, so they get into the Champions League from where they finished last season or whatever, and you can see Eric Haas progressing something, that price goes out the window. Like Havertz, we didn't get onto him until the second season. That first season, it was fine. Won the Champions League. Everything was fine. It was like, oh, great. It's only now because you guys have, fallen off last season where everyone's getting onto him saying he's not good enough.
Yeah, you're right.
His finishing. He's been the same player, but no one said anything before because there was progression in Chelsea's eyes. If he's part of that United progression, then it's all good.
That's why people are onto Sancho now. It's because.
Well, yeah, but Kai Havertz had Yeah, sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, that's why people are onto Sancho now, because you need to start delivering. After a year where you've been at a club, people expect you to be a little bit more established, a little bit more understanding of your surroundings. And I think people are too obsessed with goals and assists. Even I am at times, but I don't expect that from the player. He hasn't been that guy ever in his career. He's more of a person who creates productivity through his chances created.
All I know, I don't want to hear nothing from Chelsea fans talk about money and price when Kepa cost like 70-odd million, and then Kai Havertz had 3 seasons now.
But at the same time, oh, sorry.
Go on. No, go on.
No, but I was going to say, at the same time, all the Chelsea fans still sit there and go, Kepa was dramatically overpriced. Lukaku was dramatically overpriced.
Yeah, I get that, yeah. Right. But then again, if Havertz has had 2 seasons going into his 3rd season, and yet it's still fans believing that he could do something. So this guy, remember, Antony's only like 22 years old.
Yeah, he's 22.
This is an investment for the future. Investment for the future as well, you know. Like it happens. Like Kai Havertz.
That's why my question was like, how long does he get? Because it's all relative.
Year.
But no, for me, 18 months.
Like,
18 months.
But
18 months.
I think, I mean, you've got to show that you've got something in there, and that was going to be my point. I mean, you've got to look at what young play. The amount of money we're now spending is also reflective of the level of money being pumped into football. You know, clubs are receiving nearly £200 million a year in TV money. That much, 20 years ago, that much money wasn't being spread amongst all 20 clubs. So when Wayne Rooney went for 27 million, like the inflation of money in football between Wayne Rooney's signature and now is estimated at over 550%. You had 550% onto Wayne Rooney's transfer fee. That makes him a £150 million player. If you spent 150 million pounds on an 18-year-old today, you'd be called crazy. But people were doing that back then, but it was just called 24, 25, 30 million because the money, there wasn't as much money in football, but it's the same difference. You know, the economy within football isn't reflective of the economy in society. There's a lot more money in football than there, you know, the growth in football, is a lot. Inflation, ironically, our inflation is crazy in England at the minute, but nothing compared to football. And by the way, if Amazon suddenly buy the rights of Sky and pump an extra £1 billion a year into the Premier League, players like Antony will start costing Premier League teams 120, 130 million, 140 million, because the rival clubs outside of Europe especially will want that. So I think it's relative. And with Wayne Rooney, we didn't judge him on the first year and say, well, what he did after between 18 and 19 is when we judge you. After that, we don't care. Wayne Rooney was judged over that, you know, his career at United. And I think the most important thing that United can do is stick to a philosophy and a game plan. Where we've wasted money in the past is you spend 85 million on an Antony because it's how Ten Hag wants to play. Let's say Ten Hag flops, but if we then go and buy and bring in another manager that's got a completely different outlook, that £85 million can become an obsolete signing. If the next manager that comes in needs players like Antony, you can get the best out of him, and therefore, over a 5 to 10 year period, that £85 million is well spent. That's been our biggest problem for me, that we don't have a clear plan as a football club. But look, it's going to be an intriguing one to see whether he's worth the money or not. We have another super chat that came in here. Says, I disagree, Terry. Get overcharged over transfers I disagree, Terry. United get overcharged for transfers because they are United. Real Madrid get it. Barca get it. Other clubs now make a lot of dough. Yeah, that's partly it, because people know we've got money as well. Like, it's, you know, if I'm telling you, if Jeff Bezos turn up at your house and I want to buy a house off you, you ain't going to give him market value, are you? You're going to ask for a bit more. I know you got the money, G. So yeah, I get that completely. I'm old enough to remember the entire league freaking out that Arsenal spent 150 million on 6 players last summer.
You must be quite young then.
Yeah, it's only a year ago. Yeah, only a year ago.
Nottingham Forest have done it.
Nottingham Forest have done an absolute madness.
Yeah, there's 18 players, something like that. Ridiculous.
19 now, man.
Yeah,
19.
Mental.
Ollie next.
Absolutely crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to speak a little bit of Chelsea later on the show. We're going to go through Ronaldo coming in. We're going to talk about Wilfried Zaha coming in and Chelsea's form at the moment. But I did want to touch before that on Arsenal, gents, because Arsenal 4 from 4. Egal will probably know the answer to this. The last time Arsenal won their opening 4 games of the season, I don't remember when.
2003-4 season.
2003-4. So you're talking the invincible season. There are Arsenal fans now talking about this team's building something. This could go invincible this year or one in the future. And of course, there are big accusations being made that Arsenal Football Club are over-celebrating. They're getting ahead of themselves. What are we saying about Arsenal? Should people be more respectful of Arsenal's progression, or do you on the panel think, and viewers watching, that Arsenal are getting a little bit too big for their boots?
Can I go first on this? Honestly, it's so sad. People are so sad. Oh, don't celebrate your birthday because you're gonna die one day. Don't celebrate a wedding because you could get divorced. Like, what kind of mentality is this? People need to relax. Let people have their celebration. We scored a late winner. We scored in the 85th minute to win a game. On top of that, it's a home game. It's the second home game of the season. We're top of the league at this moment in time. Of course, doesn't mean we think we're gonna win or anything. It's just we're happy in the position that we're in. And if you cycle it back to a year ago, this time there was no happiness. Everyone was depressed. We were bottom of the league. It's not only about the fact that we won this game, it's about the whole journey and the company and how everybody's just so happy at the club. And it's just like, some people don't get that because they're watching it and they're like, maybe they wanted us to drop points, and the fact that we're celebrating the way they were celebrating is kind of rubbing it in that we won, and they're kind of disappointed that we lost, that we won the game.
You know what, if every fan thought like you, cool, there would be no issues, but they don't. And you get fans saying you're going to win the league. You get fans saying you're going to go invincible. You get fans talking about you lot are Man City 2.0. Arteta's the best manager in the world. Saka this, Odegaard that. So that's why people are pissed off. It's not to do with Arsenal. Arsenal do play good football. Arsenal have improved. We understand that. But it's you lot just can't be humble with it. You go from like 0 to 100. And you've got teams like City and Liverpool who have been excellent for years. And even their fans don't talk the smack that you lot do. So that's why people get onto you. If you lot were just cool with it,
we should be happy and excited.
Yeah, you should be happy and excited, but you can't be then going nuts.
We should be happy and excited. People always go overboard. Every fan base has people who go overboard. I had a Tottenham fan come on to one of my streams before the season started saying they're going to win the league or the Champions League. But you don't hear me bringing that up in arguments.
Yeah, that's just one. That's a one-off. That's an anomaly.
No, that's two that you know. So don't make it seem like don't throw stones when you're in the glass house.
No. Your fan base are notoriously known for doing this. You got to be honest. Come on, it's not just
every fan base. I think Arsenal fans should be extremely happy because, in my opinion, this isn't going to last very long. So live in the moment, live in the moment. Because
what do you mean by that?
I disagree.
No.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? So, you're making it seem like we're saying we're going to win. You're making it seem like we're saying we're going to be title contenders. No one is saying that.
What I'm saying is that you've won 4 games in a row, first time since 2003, 2004. It's not going to get much better than this. Keep happy. Be happy in it, because once those losses start coming in, it's gonna. I know what you're
going to be undefeated the whole season.
No. I don't think you're going to be undefeated. My thing is with Arsenal is that I watch their games, and I'm not going to lie. I feel like I said it. Terry brought up a comment I put on in a chat once. I said I haven't been that impressed by Arsenal. Everyone's been really, really gassed about Arsenal, saying they've been playing this amazing football and really well and this, that, and the other. And I'm just sat there like, I'm watching their games. They're winning games, but I'm still not. I'm not on the train. I'm not there, because I look at the goals that you score and I sit there and go like, how repeatable are your goals? Like, when I watch Haaland score goals, I sit there and I go, okay, he's going to score another 5 or 10 of these chances. How many times is Odegaard going to shoot and it come off the back of someone and deflect the right way? How many times one thing I will admit to, I understand Fulham's goal was also an anomaly in terms of Gabriel's not going to do what he did to concede the goal. Okay. But I look at Arsenal and I sit there and I just go, I think once the season really starts getting going, you're playing Thursday, Sunday, then Cheeky on Monday, and then your player gets injured, and then Eddie Nketiah is going to start, and then Eleni's going to start, and then Zinchenko's got to come into centre mid, and your whole squad gets mumbo-jumboed. That's when I think
your logic doesn't make sense, my friend. I waited until you finished. First things first, we're one of the best set piece teams in the country right now when it comes to goal scored and defending against set pieces. So that is very possible to continue as it is. Also, the way that we've scored the goals. If you're looking at the games and you're saying the way that we've scored the goals, yes, some of them have been scrappy, but that's how every team needs to fight to win these games and get these points. And if you're saying you're not impressed by it, just continue to watch. I'm telling you, you will be impressed by the end of the season.
I'm not saying
we've gone leaps and bounds on what we have been. And last year we were playing with 10 men. We had nobody in the box to finish off these chances. We had nobody to actually be at the end of those chances when need be. And with Jesus there and the way that we're linking up play and the way we're building up play, I'm telling you, if you don't see it now, you will see it. Just continue to watch.
I feel like you're playing too much. I put a lot of disrespect on Arsenal through the summer, and I can admit it. Now you're just reaching a little bit, Dan. So I can't lie. Like one of your goals, Sterling goes a deflection. So what now?
But I haven't sat here and said.
Okay, but anyways, long story short, you said they scored exactly the same goals. I'm just saying, but you're gonna come and check.
Have I sat here and said that Chelsea? Have I?
No, but you said Arsenal scored the same type of goals: deflection goals, set pieces, build up play. What more do you want?
I'm just saying that everyone's talking about. I'm just saying. Everyone's saying that Arsenal are like Terry predicted Arsenal come third, right? And after watching the football that they play, everyone's looking like, oh, you know what, Arsenal might come second even because Liverpool.
What's wrong with
that? I don't think so. It's my personal opinion. I watch Arsenal.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I'm just not that impressed. I think like
so it's your feelings. It's not really logic based.
No, it's not that it's not logic based. It's just that I've watched enough football to know that I can tell when a team is kind of riding their luck a little bit.
I think it depends though. I think it depends because if you're expecting Arsenal to go and finish, as you said, second or win the league or whatever, then yeah, I'm not on that train either. But is there development? Is there progression from last season? 100%.
I've never denied that they haven't developed. 100% they've got better from last year because they're a harder team to beat this year. 100%.
Yeah, and also
I don't see their gains putting themselves in front of Chelsea or Tottenham or Liverpool.
Wait, why Tottenham though? No, why Tottenham? Why Tottenham?
Because even though I think that Arsenal and Spurs, you could argue maybe have a slightly more comparable squad. I think that when you look at the managers, the distance between them it's like
who plays the best football out of the three teams.
But it's not about who plays the best.
Who has the least talented team out of the three teams?
Out of the three teams, I'd probably say Arsenal.
Who plays the best football?
But what does the best football mean?
No, who plays the most aesthetically pleasing football?
But aesthetically pleasing football doesn't equal point.
Who? So
you're admitting
that we have a less talented team. You're saying that we have inferior manager, but yet we're still in the mix with you guys. So something's not adding up.
I don't think you are in the mix with that. The thing is, I don't think you are.
Oh, you don't think
you don't have to think.
My point is that I think you might be in a competition with Spurs because I do think Spurs have been heavily overrated. I just think that
but you still never answered. Who plays the best football?
But my point is that Egal, you can. If I sit here and say Arsenal play the best football, that doesn't mean anything.
You know what
it does mean? Best. Chelsea won 2 league titles, and I think you would say that Arsene Wenger played better football than Chelsea did. So,
Okay, I get that. But the reason why I'm saying we play the better football out of the three teams, I'm just showing you. Your argument can be somewhat flawed. We have a worse manager, we have worse players, but yet we're playing better football. We're holding on to more possession. We're getting results.
And we're scoring more goals. And we're conceding less. True.
So with that being said, with everything against us, inferior manager, inferior players. We're still getting results. We're showing you guys that we can play football on the pitch and we can outperform the teams that we're playing against. And we're doing it home and away. I know it's early in the season. It may not continue, but at this moment in time, signs are showing that Arsenal have improved. They're playing better than Chelsea and Tottenham. And we'll see how long it continues.
What's your definition of playing better? Because
we play better football than Tottenham and Chelsea.
Also, as well, Pat, you can. The thing is, if your team was winning 4 games in a row, my team won 4 games in a row, Liverpool, anyone, we'd all be the same shameless. I cannot stand Arsenal's fan base on life. I cannot wait for when we beat them at Old Trafford. I'll say it right now when we do. But I say it's gonna happen because you don't beat us at Old Trafford no matter how shit we are.
No,
long story short, okay, go whatever. Long story short, though. If it's not them, it's always gonna be us. We're gonna be shameless, vice versa. But with the Tottenham thing, we all talk about the mentality shift and the change and everything. But why can the same logic not be applied towards Arsenal? Because the old Arsenal,
I've not slated Arsenal.
I'm not saying you have, but I'm just saying if you're gonna say that towards Tottenham, who I think actually when I deep it, your Tottenham squad's actually flipping shit. But on top of that, I'm deep in it. Your depth is whack, and I don't know if this is going to be sustained. But I feel Conte can sustain.
Don't overdo it. Come on.
No, because I feel like Conte can. I feel like Conte can sustain as long as Harry Kane stays clinical at this rate. Because
our depth is whack. Our team is shit. But I can.
But I feel like your manager's getting the best out. The manager's getting the best out of your team. But I don't know if it's sustainable for the long run. And now I'm thinking. But
I
at the
heard
same
that
time,
6
I
months
feel
ago,
like
and we're still where we are.
That's
now,
nice.
So
And that's nice. Yeah. Now 0 trophies. But what's it called with Arsenal? I
Is
just
that
feel
relevant
like
to what we're talking about? Though?
yeah, it
Really?
is. It
It's
is.
not.
It is.
It isn't.
It
It
is.
isn't.
It is.
Let's
It is.
like
Because the mentality
if we're
shift.
gonna have
The
a sensible
mentality shift.
convo,
Doesn't
let's
mean the
have a
mentality.
sensible convo. But
We,
if we're
we
just gonna
can.
be
We can.
silly, then
But we're just talking
that's cool,
facts
innit?
then. But what's
Yeah,
it called?
Kaz Egal, like, what I would say though, in regards to Arsenal, is that although you can be excited with the progression and like you've won the games that on the basis of it, as an Arsenal fan yourself, you'd always look at that and be like, we should be winning these games. We should be winning these games. So I can't look at that and be like, there's like outstanding progression. You're just doing better than you did last season. Now, question is, when you come up against the likes of a Tottenham, a United, a Liverpool, a City, how well do you fare against these teams? Because that's going to be the difference. Because as people have alluded to even in the chat as well, is once you go and have a couple injuries and Partey's not available and you're playing on any day instead and Zinchenko's got to come into midfield, then you're going to go and see how well you cope coming up against the big boys in the league. Because right now you don't know where you lie. If you come up against City and then lose and then you go on a bad run, then we'll be back on this show looking at it and saying Arsenal are the same old Arsenal. So although there is progression, we have to still take it a bit lightly because you haven't come up against anyone that's really tested Arsenal.
Let me say this. I agree with you. We haven't played anybody who's in the top 6, the original top 6 yet, and we're going to face them soon. But right now, the way that my team's playing and the confidence that they're exuding and how they're performing on the pitch, I think if we played against Liverpool or City, it would be a much closer game.
That's why
I hear that. I hear that as well.
Be excited because right now you're in the form where you should be excited. Yes, your quality of opposition has been great, but be excited because that will help your players. Because as we all know, is that now our players are looking at what we say online. So if all of you are positive, that will help you. However, I do have a fear that, I personally, I really hope it does happen. But not even coming from like I really want this to happen. I look at Arsenal and I just sit there and go like, they've still got shades of old Arsenal. And I think it'll be between.
It's not. It's not because they would have lost to Fulham.
Can I just interject for a minute? Can I just interject? I'm sorry to look. I look at it this way. Firstly, there's two separate conversations here. The over-celebrating, for me, the media is upset that the Arsenal gravy train, for the time being at least, is over. They are not making money through Arsenal being bad. Arsenal getting beat 13, 14, 15, 16 times a season in all competitions. Arsenal coming 8th. Arteta out trending. Robbie, I'm getting the banners out. That's all gone. And the mainstream media knows that a cash cow has walked away. Angry fans always generate more clicks because everybody likes to pile on top. How many people, when Arsenal are winning, how many times have you seen people tweet the words AFTV and chill in the last 3 or 4 weeks? No one. It's no disrespect to AFTV, great channel. But we all know, and I know this for a fact, I spoke to somebody at Sky a couple of years ago at the Football Content Awards. They literally said because of what fan channels were doing, the way Sky BT started operating, the kind of content they were making, how they were talking about things they copied. You're seeing now all these big companies that have just had massive Insta accounts for years, launching their YouTube channels and paying big money to good level content creators go, can you guys just recreate what those fan channels have done? Because they know that's what people want to see. So Arsenal being good is damaging loads of businesses. So what you're getting is these same outlets saying, right, let's slag off them over-celebrating. Let's say they're overhyping their team because that way they're creating the controversy around Arsenal. It's a very clear and simple tactic for me. But Arsenal Football Club have been sensational this year, whether people like it or not. Yes, there's still holes. Yes, there's still areas to make better. But they've still got one of the youngest teams in the league. And that's why you should be, as Chelsea fans, Spurs fans, Liverpool City, there should be an air of fear, depending on where you are in the pyramid right now. But you should be looking, this is a serious Arsenal team. They still need to add more.
I don't fear this Arsenal team. I respect what they're doing. No, not at all. I respect what they're doing. I know they've got better, but I don't fear them. I don't look at Arsenal and be like, oh my God, I'm scared to play them. Or, oh my God.
Okay, so I'm not talking about scared to play them. I'm talking about, when I say fearful of this, well, okay, fearful might be a better word than scared. Scared's a little bit like a kid hiding under their bed. Fearful of the fact that this Arsenal team is legit. This Arsenal team this year will start beating more top 6 sides. They will brush aside more of the smaller clubs and the lesser teams. And especially if they add a player or two more in the remainder of this window, they're going to get better and better and better. Arteta becomes a better manager every game he plays. The squad is getting older and more mature. And people should be fearful of that because Arsenal have been this team, in my opinion, over the past 4 or 5 years, especially as a top, even when Man Utd have been crap, generally have gone into Arsenal games going, we've got a chance in this. I know Chelsea have felt that way. Spurs have felt that way. Liverpool and City have looked at Arsenal as a guaranteed 6 points a season for a long time. For me, that's over now. So the media's gravy train is over. They're not making that kind of money out of Arsenal anymore for the sort of the angry fan element. And from a league point of view, Arsenal are no longer a walk in the park. It was only the beginning of last season that clubs like Leicester, Brighton, Aston Villa, they honestly felt like they'd taken Arsenal over. They thought we are now in front of Arsenal. And look, it pains me to say it as a Man United fan. Plus, the Football Tier Estimate done some good business on Arsenal's failings. We did. We did some good business. Come outside, Tottenham fans. We did some really good business. But it's over
Terry,
now.
What I will say, Terry,
they're back.
Let's hold on a bit. And only 4 games in, Arsenal haven't done anything yet. They haven't got back into the top 4. Let's wait and see. Yes, I get what you're saying, and yeah, the signs are there, but they haven't done anything. As well as they've played now, they can also fall off. It's not that.
I was going to say the same thing as well, because up to this point, there's no evidence to suggest that they're going to go and, do you know what I mean, be closer to City or be closer to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean, beat a Tottenham, especially when the pressure's hot, especially when it's a 6 point and when the difference is between getting top 4, being 3rd and being 4th, because right now it's easy. It's the beginning of the league. There's no pressure on teams really. Arsenal can play their games. They're playing all the teams that they should be. If they didn't beat them, we'd be piling on them. Like you said, Terry, if they come up against City and lost against City, there'd be some banter, but we wouldn't be surprised at it. We wouldn't be like, oh my God, Arsenal, they've had a blunder here. They're beating the teams that they've got to beat. Now we'll see. Do you know what I mean? By January time, by the midway point of the season, I think that's the time to then assess an Arsenal and see, are they the real deal? Are they legit? Because as I said, injuries after the World Cup, all of that, when things start to get like Higgy and all rickety, then we'll see where Arsenal are at. We can't just judge them on 5 games. I think that's madness.
And you know what I was gonna say? It's almost like people want Arsenal fans or want people to go out and say, "Oh, we're in a title race," or "Oh, we're doing this," or "Oh, we're doing that," so they can laugh when we first drop points. We're gonna drop points. We're gonna lose a game. Everyone loses games.
Oh, you play Man United this week. So yeah, I hear you. But on a real one though. But this is what I said. I'm very careful with my words when it comes to Arsenal. When I've said title challenge, I've said you will become a title challenging team over the course of this year. Whether it's this year or next season, you are heading towards that. Look, we've got some super chats here, people. People saying we don't ignore super chats on this show. When people are in flow of talking, we hold back and wait, otherwise we break the flow. We'll go back to Ronaldo ones when it's more topical. I've already put that one out. Terry, okay, we'll come back to some of these in a minute. I want to try and keep some of these super chats on topic here. 2 games a week start now pretty much until the World Cup. A great show. And that is a challenge for Arsenal, is at 2 games a week. And I think we kind of know that. Hype about Tottenham and Conte is playing the same way Mourinho was. And you all slandered him. They didn't look great this weekend. We'll come back to Spurs in a bit. We'll save that super chat for a little bit later, my friend. Terry, how's the search for a City fan going? Ask KJ. KJ books everything. Don't keep asking me. I don't do the bookings. Like KJ, you lot will know. KJ comes to you, not me. Like that's the way it works. Like pretty much. As an Arsenal supporter, it's great that we've won 4 in 4, but we haven't played any big teams yet. We still need more signings. Our bench is weak, is what McManus Gaming has got to say. Arsenal are like that one runner who always starts in front of Usain Bolt in a race and thinks he's won, and then is left. Then is a lap behind when there's a lap left. Well, I know he didn't run laps, Usain Bolt. I get your analogy. But Arsenal have played versus the worst teams. What would you say to that, Egal? Both those comments there, like you've played against the worst teams.
Just to say, Crystal Palace took a 2-goal lead against Man City the other day, and they ended up winning. So it just goes to show you some of the teams. Fulham, the team that we just played, were probably one of our toughest games. They went and drew against Liverpool early in the season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the fact that we haven't played any tough opposition, but then when your team drops points, you guys say, "Oh, there's any team in the league can take any points off anybody." So if it's whoever's narrative it is.
I hear you on that. What's this Chelsea guy saying? We pumped you for 4-0.
In pre-season, mate.
What he's saying there. We said before.
No, 4-2 last season.
Oh, come on. Come on. We doing this.
Arsenal fans should be happy because we got out of the situation United are in. We got rid of Deadwood, whilst United still have Jones. Chelsea has Barkley's gone now.
I was to say, we don't have Barkley no more.
He's gone. He's got 200 grand a week. He was on 200 grand a week.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was.
No, I've read he was 200 grand a week.
That's a lot of money, man.
Super chat here says Egal again. Last year, Chelsea also played with 10 men but finished third. They took Lukaku with 2 finals and an unlucky Champions League exit. So please stop trying to justify your bottling. Is what Blaze says.
That makes no sense, my guy. That makes no sense.
Well, they had Lukaku. If you, it does, and I'm not.
His last end, because no one's trying to justify anything.
Saying we played with 10 men last year is kind of
it makes sense. His point makes sense. It's valid to what you said, Egal.
No, I actually can give you guys a statistical output showing that Lacazette had no link-up play with any of these guys in the final third.
Lukaku was much better.
Lukaku, come on.
Lukaku barely played.
No one is saying that like your opinion's wrong. They're just saying that Chelsea suffered the same thing.
Okay, but then comparing Chelsea when you guys apparently have a world-class manager, have world-class players, and we don't have any. Yeah.
And that's why we finished third and won 2 trophies.
Okay, so then why compare it?
Well, I'm not comparing. It's,
okay,
you know.
We're going to move on. Anton here says Arsenal fans are like drug addicts. When they win, they are on a high, but when they lose, that's actually quite funny. He's not overpriced. He's a baller. That's about Antony. Thank you very much. Now get Depay and squad depth or Osimhen. Listen, I wouldn't mind that. There's talk actually of Ronaldo to Napoli and Man United getting Osimhen on loan for a year. No,
that would be mental. That would be crazy.
That would be a good
loan. That's good business.
Yeah, I know.
Scary.
I know. I'd like that. I wouldn't mind a little bit of that myself. This super chat says, Terry, I want to know what Premier League team got rejected for us. Yeah, Fabrizio announced that another Premier League team tried to get Antony, and he chose Man United. I'm so excited to know who it is.
It was definitely us.
I think it was Chelsea as well. Yeah,
it definitely was.
Cab driver here says, as a Chelsea fan, let Arsenal celebrate their wins right now. They are not easy wins in the Prem. Look at this City's last game, which is a good point. Spurs had a bus parade because they got a draw versus Chelsea. It's true. They did celebrate. They did celebrate.
About with the fists when he didn't even play.
He did actually. He got a few minutes, but still,
he got 3 minutes.
We should learn after 15 years of stints. We have to judge in May. 4th and win the Europa is the bare minimum, or he has to go.
Wow, that's harsh.
Per Hansen's got to stay.
That's not harsh.
And the trophy minimum. Martinez is the new Pogba for that bum Souness. Yeah, Souness has been on Lissandro for they're all doing it. He's proved them all wrong. He's starting to. We'll see what he does against the better players. I can't wait for him to pocket a star striker and then look at Souness's.
Well, you got Arsenal next. Let's see if I hope he has a good game against Arsenal. I really do.
Yeah, but
Martinez likes to play
a top striker though, and he's not. There's not one.
Did Souness?
Jesus is a top striker.
David knows what he's doing. He knows.
Did Graham Souness say that Harry Maguire has been unfairly treated?
Oh, did he?
There's no way. There's no way.
That?
No, I need to check this right now. Let me check this right now.
I have to say this now. I have to say this to Sky Sports and to Talk Sport. You need better Manchester United representation. You've got Goldbridge, but he's only on like once a week. You need better Man United representation that's going to come on there and fight. Flex does a good job, but I don't see him on there enough. I see so many Liverpool, so many Chelsea. I see so many representatives of everybody else. Man United get disrespected on there every day, and there's no one there to back them.
No, Terry, I was going to say the same thing about Chelsea.
I'll do it twice a week for free. You ain't got to pay me. Plus, I'll bring you more numbers than some of them bums you have on there. And I'm not talking about any of the content creators. I'm talking about the ex-pros. Trust me, I will.
I don't see anything with Souness, by the way. I just checked, and you know what? He keeps saying Harry Maguire will be a success at United, and he will be the better team. You know why? Because he used to play for the rivals of Manchester United, so he's got to obviously say, yeah, they're a better team of knowing that they're rubbish.
I get that. This super chat here says Arsenal have been better than last season, but Spurs, Chelsea, and United will also be better. Games post Villa will show if Arsenal have progressed. I mean, this is true. I mean,
the next game's always the test. Don't worry.
Is it Villa next you've got?
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Terry doesn't want to bring a City supporter on because it will bring shame on the rest of the panel. Also want to do you realize something, that just because your team's good doesn't make your football opinion better? Like, it's kind of a weird a weird analogy. Like, I mean, suddenly if Man United start winning the league, I've got the best football opinion on the panel. No, well, I have got the best football opinion on the panel. But... hey. Everyone that knows me knows I'm joking, but there we go. Guys, I want to speak a little bit on Chelsea, and I know a lot of Chelsea fans have been tuning in and waiting for this, but Chelsea Football Club seemingly calling their interest on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We know there's a super chat here, like reportedly was assaulted and held at gunpoint last night. So we wish him, him and his wife all the best. They're terrible, terrible times. But there are talks about Ronaldo. There are talks about Wilfried Zaha advancing. The player is reportedly, according to Simon Phillips, who's very credible, has made himself available for transfer, whatever that kind of means. But Ronaldo and Wilfried Zaha looked at as alternatives. David, what are you saying here? Would you rather stick with pushing for Aubameyang? Do you think you're going to cave and listen to Jorge Mendes and go for Ronaldo? Or would Wilfried Zaha be the best outcome here for an additional attacking option for your club?
First of all, Ronaldo. Obviously, great player in his time, but I do not want Ronaldo. I just don't. Not even because he's bad. It's just I feel like he brings so much noise with him. And right now, the one thing my team does not need is more noise because there's too much going on right now. But then I look at Aubameyang and Zaha, and I can see what Tuchel's trying to do. But I think both of them would actually be, if we could get both of them, I think that'd be great. I look at Zaha as someone who's a bit more direct than the wingers that we have, and he'll defo do more than like a Pulisic or a Ziyech. Who do I prefer? I think I prefer Aubameyang just because I know he can do it at the top level. The thing with Zaha and the question mark is can he do it for a top team? Because when you're at Palace,
33.
Is he 33? He's not 33.
Yeah, Aubameyang is 33.
Yeah, he's 33.
No, okay, no. But with Aubameyang, I feel like Aubameyang's thing is like, I can score goals. And I don't think that really goes away. And I don't think he brings as much noise as Ronaldo does. And I think that having Aubameyang will help players like Kai Havertz become better as well. Because we actually
How many years would you give Zaha in comparison to Aubameyang?
I think both of them have to come in and basically hit the ground running. Like,
they're old enough and experienced.
Yeah, they're old enough.
I don't mean that. I mean contract. Like, would you guys give him?
I'd give Zaha 3 and I'd give Aubameyang 2, maybe 1 with like an option of like a +1. That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's why I think Zaha's the better pick for you guys out of Aubameyang and thing.
But I think Zaha's kind of again like Zaha's not someone who we bring in and then he's like you're a mainstay in the squad. Zaha is like we kind of need you to patch a hole right now and then we'll improve you later.
Zaha's better than all your attackers except for Sterling.
No, yeah. but Zaha is not I don't think he's of the level for us to win a league title, and that's ultimately the goal. If Zaha's your backup winger, then that's good enough to win a league. If he's your main guy next to Sterling, then it's not.
He's going to be your main guy, right wing though, or left wing. He would be though.
But I don't think we're going to win the league this year. I don't think
25 million is not a bad shout either.
And also 25 mil, I think it's a good deal.
You know what? I'm deep in it as well. Yeah, just off topic. I was thinking of Tottenham. I was doing research. I just realised that Tottenham actually won the most points since Conte in the last 10 games.
See, there you go.
Long story short, So I'll put my hands up. I put my hands up. I put my hands up. That's a mare from me. But in terms of Chelsea, you potentially have going into. You can go into a back four now. Like Chelsea technically have if not one of the best back fours in the Premier League now. You got Fofana, who's agile. You got Koulibaly, who's the big guy and everything, whatever. Then you got Cucurella and Chilwell, whichever one you want at left back. And then you got Reece James, another like balanced fullback like Cucurella as well. That is one of the if that is potentially one of the in the league, it's top 3, if not top 2 best back fours if they can gel.
Still question marks on Koulibaly. I said it on this show a while ago and people tried to say, and you've seen it. Koulibaly, for me, still has that bozo moment in him. He's been cooked in Serie A and you're going to see it. I mean, he's already been sent off in one game. He's not as good as people are making him out to be. And you're going to see that as the season progresses. He's a decent defender. He's definitely not world-class. Fofana is a very good signing. Fofana already, for me, is better than Koulibaly.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you potentially have one of the best back fours potentially. I'm not how they're going to work well together, but in terms of balance, it's very well.
Obsession to move to a back four.
I think you need to though, man.
No,
Your midfield needs it.
Yeah.
When you have Koulibaly, Fofana, and Thiago Silva, I don't think you're going to move to a back four. You're going to their team, Chelsea's team. Let's be honest, it's built for the back three. The players they have, the personnel they have, everything they have going for it. It's built for the back three, and it's better suited to that. So let them play the way that they're currently playing. And we've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen it the last game versus Leicester when they went to a back three after they went down to 10 men, or when they changed the system and they brought in another defender. They looked better than they did when they had the way that they were.
You know what? That back five is really good though. When you put them together, Koulibaly, Fofana, Silva, and then Reece James and Cucurella. That is a good back five.
Thiago Silva right now on form. The best.
I've got a question for Dave. I've got a question for David. Like, is it time to transition out of Thiago Silva a little bit?
No. He's the best centre back in the league. I'm sorry, no.
He's not the best centre back.
Say that again. Say that again.
Thiago Silva is the best centre back in the league. I'm sorry.
Come on. Be serious.
Jerry, please.
You got Van Dijk.
Van Dijk is not better than Thiago Silva.
Romero.
Romero is not better. Romero. Stinker.
Yeah, Romero's not better than him.
Romero.
I don't
know about that. David,
I hear you out. And I hear what you're trying to say. And look,
Romero's sick.
You have to play. You have to play to the qualities of your player.
Like, Argentinians, yeah.
If you got like, I mean, a Nat Phillips at the back, which Liverpool have, and he's proper slow. You don't go and play a high line. So I fully get it. But Thiago Silva, you can't play in the back four. He won't be playing in the back forward.
How is that a knock against like? I'm confused. Ronaldo.
Saliba's better than Thiago Silva.
He's awful.
It's not because recovery wise will be a problem.
I'm joking, David.
I think Thiago is the second best centre back currently in the league, and I still think Van Dijk, even though he's not been the best, I still think he's still the best in the world.
Yeah.
On form right now, Thiago Silva is centre back one.
On form.
It's not even a question. He's centre back one. Even when we lost 3-0, he was still
one. You're conceding goals and losing games, and you're saying
Arsenal's the best team in the world. How ridiculous does that sound?
Watch Thiago Silva. I'm telling you, this guy is out of this world.
Did you say on form? Actually, on form. Brighton have conceded less. Arsenal have conceded less. Yeah,
but conceding goals is a unit. Conceding goals is a unit.
Man City's conceded less. Yeah, but your better defender right now was Koulibaly not one of your better defenders before he got a red card?
That's a bit of a mare.
Koulibaly's not been here for long enough. Thiago Silva has been here for 2 years, and he has been. If he's not one, he's two. If he's not one, he's two. That's
two. You mean in the toilet? You mean?
No. Like Thiago Silva would start for every single Premier League team.
I rate Thiago Silva, but not top two, man.
Silva get a shout.
Styles make plays.
He will start for every Premier League team, and it's not even.
Not in the back four. Not in the back four, bro. In the back four, you can't do it.
What are you talking about?
You can't do it, bro. No, we can't. You don't have the legs and stuff. Agree. Come on.
It's true. Come on, because look. Even Dyer looks good in the back three or back five, whatever you call it. If you put Dyer in the back four, he will get cooked. It's the truth. It's the truth.
I think. Sorry, go on, Jerry. Go on, Jerry.
I was saying, look, if you're bigging up Thiago Silva and talking about that, in the last 4 games that I've seen, Dyer's been superb. But I'm not going to go and start calling Dyer on form the best centre back in the world.
I'm not talking about the past 4 games. I'm talking about since he's come to this country. He has had like 4 bad games. Like 3 or 4 bad games. Van Dijk has had like 7 bad games in a row, but no one's talking about that. Just give him number 1 because he's Van Dijk.
Deep down that Van Dijk is like. Let's not do that. Like
no, he's not. Yes, he's not anymore. He has
no more. David.
The next game he is then, and the next game he is, and the next game he is.
Nah, man.
This don't. Dan. Sorry. This don't work on JJ, by the way. Only logic works on JJ to get him hot. Like honestly. It don't work. I've tried.
We've got centre back 1 and we have right back 1. It's
you're going too far. Chill
out. Hold on. Goalkeeper last season, Edouard Mendy was the best goalkeeper in the league. Right?
I didn't agree with that. I didn't say that.
Are you sure?
Why are you bringing Reece James into this argument? Like
it's always like cold.
He's like Reece James is world class.
Reece James, there's an argument for it, and I know Trent was very good on attacking point of view the other day, but defensively he's there. I will say this. Listen, I think Silva doesn't. He doesn't. He does need that 3 to like protect him now at his age. But I don't see Tuchel moving away from this 3 at the back. And listen, Chelsea have been more written off this year than I think Arsenal have. And people keep calling me a secret Arsenal fan because I'm praising them. I think people are right in this. Chelsea went down to 10 men at the weekend. And I know all of you watching did what I did. And I did it from a content. Oh, this could be a great match reaction show, right? But it went the other way. And I know Leicester haven't been great this year. And Rodgers should probably be sold. But Chelsea were really good again. Were they scintillating? Did they play the most beautiful football in the world that has you on the edge of your seats? No. But this Chelsea team is fairly efficient. And on these transfers, listen, look, if they get Wilf Zaha, I think they've got to go for Aubameyang over both. Personally, I think Aubameyang will score more goals than both. Ronaldo, I want it to be Ronaldo because I want Ronaldo out of the Man United dressing room. People will think that's crazy because he scores goals, but he doesn't want to be. You saw what he did when he came on the other day. There was an opportunity to put Rashford through one-on-one to seal the game, and he played it to the wing so that Rashford could run onto it to play him in for a goal. That isn't what you need. You need someone that's about the team. So I want them to sign Ronaldo, and it depends on what report you read. Like Tuchel keeps saying no, saying no, saying no. If Aubameyang falls through, they need a goal scorer at Chelsea. It's very much needed. But I do think the writing off of Chelsea is crazy. And I wasn't surprised they won this weekend. They're going to win a lot of games this year. They are going to be there or thereabouts, especially in this top 4 run. And they've just gone and signed one of the best young centre-backs in the world as well to add to this in Fofana. I think Fofana is every bit as good as William Saliba. I think they're in and around the same level as one another. And you disagree? You don't think Saliba is as good as Fofana?
No, I think Fofana and Saliba right now, you look at it, Saliba's ahead of him.
Why is that?
What? Why is that?
Yeah, Saliba's ahead of him because he's being picked in the French setup. He's playing internationally and he's playing for his club. Fofana has just come off an injury. Yes, he's played for Leicester and he's done well at Leicester, but let's not do this thing where the Premier League is the only league. Saliba right now is the best young centre back in world football. Full stop.
Wow.
What bracket? When you're talking about young, what bracket?
Yeah, how old? Cut off for young?
23.
Gavardio.
Yeah, you're allowed.
Like that.
No, man. He's the best young centre back in the world right now.
How can you say that? He's never been on a Champions League stage.
He's 21 years old. He's 21 years old. He's playing for what do you call it? Obviously Arsenal. He's done amazing things in France, and he was voted the best young French player, the best young player in the French league. Players who've been voted that before have reached world class, like superstar level. And I'm just saying,
guess what?
It's not overstating because he's an Arsenal player. I genuinely believe Saliba one day will be one of the best in the world. He has the build, he has the physicality, he has the strength, he has everything, all the attributes you need physically with the technical ability and the skills. He makes football look easy. And if you guys want to make fun of him because he's an Arsenal player, do what you want to do. I genuinely believe hand for hand, he's a better player than Fofana.
I've tried, Egal. You know what? I've tried. I'm done.
And that is fair, and you can say that. My point was, I just said that, like, I think they're very close to each other, and I think that the problem Fofana has had, yes, a horrific leg break, which also led to ligament damage, which can be worse than the leg break itself. When you break a leg, the reason Harvey Elliott came back so quickly is there was no major damage to the ligaments and the tendons in that break. That's why he could come back with it in relative months.
Yeah.
Fofana's was much worse, but Fofana's been playing for a much weaker team than Arsenal, in my opinion. And he suffered that injury and he still looks sensational. I think if Fofana was at Marseille for the last couple of years, he could have won. And Saliba had stayed in the Premier League, he may have won French, young French Footballer of the Year and things like this. That's not taking anything away from Saliba. I think Saliba is sensational. And I think the way Arsenal handled him has been brilliant. I think sending him out on loan was very, very important. But I think Chelsea have signed a player. And if you think Saliba's better, I think that's fair. I don't like the phrase clear. I don't think he's so far clear of Fofana that Fofana's not in that conversation. I think they're very, very close. And
I'm not taking away from Fofana.
No,
I'll give you 5 players better than Saliba right now.
Oh, you think there's 5? Sorry, Kaz. You think there's 5 young defenders better than Saliba right now?
Yeah, I can say that right now. I can say that Tomori's better. I would say Bastoni's better. I would say Militao is better. I think you can't really write off the licks so much at the moment. He's been playing in Champions League football. Gavardio's still there. I wouldn't even say Upamecano. I know he's still young.
Okay,
I wouldn't
so
put him there either.
Should I lower the age to 21 since 21 is actually youth?
Yeah, but Gavardio is.
Oh, but you said 23.
Okay, let me just say this.
Canate as well.
I just want to make this clear. Chelsea have signed a fantastic signing in Fofana. I actually love Fofana. I think he's a great player. He is one of the guys that I've been monitoring and watching him for a while now. He's done amazing things at Leicester. I rate the guy. And this is not me backtracking. I think he's going to be a good signing for Chelsea. And in the long run, he's going to be a mainstay in their team for the next 10 plus years. Fofana is a great center back. But what he's done in the Premier League, I'm not taking away from him. He's a great signing. I just think Saliba is a better overall player, and he has the physical ability to match. That's it.
Let's just wait and see, though, innit? Again, Saliba's played 4 games. Let's wait and see. Yeah, Koundé's another good shout, but yeah, Saliba looks good.
Listen, Saliba's up there. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But viewers, when we go back to the original point here, Aubameyang, Ronaldo, Wilfried Zaha. Right now in the comment section, which of the 3 would be the best signing for Chelsea? Make sure you're smashing that like and that share button. You're subscribing to the Football Territory. We're nearly on 1,000 likes. Let's break through that barrier right now and get that done. Richard here says Saliba over Saliba and has a trophy to prove it. Fair enough. Fofana will start for France over Saliba all day. Excuse me, I had a little bit.
We'll find out.
What I like about the international thing is that depending on who the player, like, doesn't Richarlison start for Brazil over Jesus?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I'm not saying that means anything per se, but I had someone say, "Oh yeah, Antony's not good because Richarlison starts in front of him." But then you go through like all our teams and who starts internationally, it's crazy. Fofana pulled similar stats pre-injury to Virgil van Dijk in 2009. Yes, he did. Terry, did you hear about Paul Pogba's brother's tweet? Listen, I've read the story on that stuff and what Paul Pogba's going through, what his brother. Firstly, I'm going to say this. I think his brother needs medical attention. That's my first thought. Like the stuff that he's accusing his brother of, like firstly to accuse, and I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but I'm going to say it, to accuse a Muslim man of witchcraft. For me, is absolutely horrendous. And Paul Pogba is a very dedicated and very what's the word I want to use here? Someone who practices devout, yes, a devout practicing Muslim and follows Islam very, very closely. This isn't a guy who was born into Islam and doesn't practice it and is off doing who knows what, being accused of this. I think first and foremost, that's a big thing. Secondly, I think his brother needs medical attention. I looked at it, I read it, and I'm like, this is someone for me that doesn't appear to be very well at this moment in time. Then you hear about the blackmail and the extortion and everything else it's going through. It's one of the reasons why sometimes you need to be a little bit more considerate when criticizing footballers. I know that like we go through tough things as working class people and we have very big struggles in our lives. But generally speaking, what's not going to happen to me at my house is have a gang of people with guns and balaclavas turn up to rob me. Like that's a different. And listen, it's happened to Aubameyang and Ronaldo and Pogba, plus how many other footballers in the last 5 to 10 years? Like ridiculous amounts. And I think the clubs they play for have to start putting their money in their pockets now as well and start providing real serious security for these footballers. But yeah, terrible situation. Comparing Thiago to Dyer explains a lot about this panel. Thank you.
Who did? Oh no, we're just talking about a back 3, back 5. It makes sense.
You know what the maddest thing is? Like, you don't have to watch either. You know, like if you don't like the panel, then you can go watch another panel. Like, let's be real.
Let's not be hasty. I do get accused of that. Someone, what's this channel? And they've got better. And I'm like, if I went out and got the same panel as another channel, why would you watch that? Like, what I love about the Terrace, and we do things a little bit differently than other people, revolving panelists, different people, what we do. If you're not a fan, I do echo it. There are other choices out there. You do know Silva played in a back 4 for Brazil. No, we get that. We're just talking Premier League here, but thank you. Patrick Koulibaly has been cooked in Serie A. I'm a Milan fan, and he hasn't been cooked. Romero was cooked by Chiesa and Leao. Martinez, best centre-back in the Premier League on form. That's from Zane.
That's not true.
Not a Man United fan, by the way, on form. I mean, how long do you?
I know, yeah.
On form, Saliba is.
The last two games, Martinez has been, but like it's 2 games, isn't it? But I was about to say that's tallest dwarf, and that's ironic with it being Martinez. You seen Birmingham's announcement for Hannibal? No, is it like something to do with Hannibal Lecter? Maybe? Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Him and I think they want Chong on a permanent, and then they want Mabry's going on loan now.
Take Chong. Chong is dead food. Patrick speaking nonsense. A back four worth a try. I don't think you should try a back four at Chelsea personally.
Yeah, I'm not speaking nonsense. We've seen you lot in a back four, and it's not been good.
They don't have the personnel. Why do we keep pushing this narrative?
I get that. Arsenal were getting mocked more for beating Fulham than Liverpool did for drawing with them. Please, someone make it make sense. And it is true.
That's actually funny. That's actually funny to me.
And that's why Arsenal's wins need respect, because Palace have taken points off Liverpool. Fulham have taken points off Liverpool, who were considered one of the greatest Premier League teams of all time right now. And Arsenal beat them, and they're considered easy. It's crazy. Arsenal beating Crystal Palace needs context. Crystal Palace had a bad preseason. Their team was split, half playing in Australia and the other in the UK. They were not ready. They looked dead. Arsenal fans need to temper their expectations, is what Mohammed has got to say here. David says, Casemiro steady Eddie. Arsenal are going to fall out. Arse is going to fall out of Arsenal, is what he says there. Sorry, that played havoc with my dyslexia. I had the worst dyslexia on a show a few days ago. Somebody wrote the word, what did they say? It was something like connotations, and I said croissant.
I should have laughed.
Mate, I laugh. Listen, I'm very, very secure about my dyslexia. Do you know what I mean? Right.
That sounds like something I would do.
I read the word croissant. Paqueta to Arsenal, Edu hijack inbound.
That's not. West Ham have already announced it.
I think that ship has very much sailed. Off topic, Terry. Can we have a conversation about Slippy G? I want to say this.
Arteta's going to get him sacked.
Steven Gerrard is a fraud as a manager. Absolute fraud. Worse record than Lampard. Worse record than Gary Neville. Like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer makes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer look like Sir Alex Ferguson. He is awful. And this is what's crazy. When I've tweeted my video about him being a fraud, it's only Liverpool fans defending him. Every Villa fan.
No. Sorry, we're not going to do that. No, listen. I speak for a lot of. Do you know what I mean? Just serious kind of reality focused Liverpool fans. He's not doing the business at the moment. Like, we don't want him at our club. But do you know what I mean? The amount of money he's been pumped into him, and the performances that he's giving, like Aston Villa should be doing much better. So
he's getting sacked.
I need to protect.
Same thing with Brendan Rodgers.
He's getting sacked on Wednesday.
Say for Rodgers, if he loses against Man United on Thursday, I reckon Rodgers might get sacked.
Yeah, Rodgers
Wednesday, Terry.
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know what's really, really crazy about it is, I still, even though he did things at Rangers, the Scottish League is below the overall level of it is below the standard of the Championship. Yeah. What Lampard, in my opinion, and Gerrard and these managers all do wrong is they don't cut their teeth at the lower levels first and build up experience. And that's why, listen, I don't know how good or bad he's going to be. I like what Wayne Rooney's doing. He did some time in the Championship. He's going to go to America. Like, he's going to make all these mistakes almost out of the spotlight and then come into things. Like literally, Pep Guardiola and Zidane they're the exception that breaks the rule of going straight into a big team and being successful. If you look at most managers and their trajectory, they do not walk into top teams in the hardest league in the world and start winning straight away. But barely, I reckon if you actually went through it and did the analysis, less than 5% of world-class managers or very good to world-class managers go straight into top jobs with big budgets in the hardest league in the world. Very few do it. Like, everyone thinks they're going to be Pep. Everyone thinks they're going to be Zidane. No.
The problem you've got, though, Terry, is that if you're a Gerrard and you're doing like what seems to be relatively well in your respective league, so wherever it is, when a big cat comes calling, how can you turn that down? Like, to turn that down, yeah, you believe in what you're doing and how good you are. It's like a player. If someone came to you and said, "I get that, you're the right man for this position," you have to go for it. And no, I don't know whether it's the manager's fault for them being fast tracked. Like, I get it, they weren't ready for that position. But
there's two things. It's people around you being honest with you. Said it before. I've got a little girl. I've got two boys as well, but I'm going to use Freya as an example. My little Freya's like, "Daddy, I want to be a singer," and she starts singing, and it's awful. I'm going to tell her she's a bad singer. I'm not going to prance her on stage at X Factor to be laughed at. Gerrard and Lampard, these people. I don't know who Gerrard's wife is. No, it's not. That's been a good parent. I said, well, that's been a good parent.
Yeah, he's really nice.
I'm just imagining in my head. I don't even know what you're doing.
My dad's a stand-up comedian and a very good singer. And growing up as a kid, I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to go on stage and tell jokes or sing. I can't do stand-up. I tried it for about 3 years. I just wasn't good enough. And I've never really been able to sing. But my dad told me blunt, keep working at it. If you enjoy it, my dad's like this. If you enjoy it, do it. But don't ever believe you're going to be the next Michael Bublé. Don't ever believe that you're going to be the next Ricky Gervais. You're not good enough. And it didn't hurt me because it was done in the right way. And this is what I think some of these managers need. They need people close to them to say, you ain't ready for this yet. You are not of the standard. Like Lampard taking over Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in the world with 1 year's managerial experience. When you think about it, is stupid. Honestly, it's crazy. And I think Gerrard taking this job this early is what will hinder and damage his career more so than spending. Just stay at Rangers for a few more years. Maybe move on to the thing with the Premier League is there's so much attention. It's the most viewed league in the world. Go and do what Patrick Vieira did. Where was he managing before? He was at Metz or somewhere.
Nice.
He went to America as well.
He
was managing.
Patrick Vieira this is it. Patrick Vieira has been managing for 9 years before he became the manager of Crystal Palace. It's 9 years experience outside of the limelight. Look what Ferguson did. Very few managers, like you had Kenny Dalglish, another example, someone that went straight in, okay, took over a very good team and kept them winning. Like it's so different when you've got to try and build something. I feel a bit sorry for Steven Gerrard, all things aside. Keeping it on Premier League for a minute, though. I want to ask a question here. I want to ask a question, boys. And managers and what they do. Are Tottenham boring or are they playing smart football?
Oh, they're playing the best football in the country. What do you mean? Tottenham Hotspur. They're unbelievable. They have Son and Kane firing, right? Playing scintillating football with the talent that they have. You have the best front three in the country. You should be absolutely ripping teams apart. But no, it's not the way for Conte, is it? So what are you going to do?
I think it's both for them, though. I think it's both, though. It's nothing wrong because, like, if it gets Spurs a trophy, do you think they're going to care about the football if they get
no,
It's just different styles. Simeone as well.
At this current rate, no, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, you can't play like that against Nottingham Forest. Get bad for 80 minutes, and then also we found out yesterday Steve Cook is only 31. He looks like 40. Right? Yeah, I know it's mad. Steve Cook is 31 years old. It's mental. The only reason they won that game was
rewind that, David. David, David, you said we got battered. How did we get battered? You know,
bro, they held the ball for like 80% of the game, man.
Do you know there's different ways to play football? Just having the ball doesn't mean that they're in control of the game. They were never in control of that game.
Patrick,
how many clear-cut chances did they have?
Against higher quality opposition, they will.
We've played higher quality opposition. When's the last time we lost the game?
We got screwed out of the win.
When's the last time we lost the game? So this is what I'm saying. You lot have to actually be sensible with what you're saying. We've played Liverpool, we played Man City, we played you boys, and did we get battered in any of those games?
We're going to last season.
No, I'm talking this season, last season. There's a good sample size.
Over the past 4 games, you have deserved to win maybe 2.
No, we deserve to win all the games.
That's a push.
David,
I don't know. When I look at football, I got to agree, man. I mean, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can look at aesthetics and we can look at it, but back in the day, Wigan used to play sick football. They got relegated and, do you know what I mean, won the FA Cup, but they never saw the light of day ever again. Like, I think there's a fine line. I think, yeah, as a fan, as a football fan, from a neutral perspective, you want to see nice football, cool. But if you're just trying to win, and I'm talking about just being a winner, do you think Drogba and Lampard and them man cared when they were playing Mourinho ball back in the day? They didn't care because they won. They won.
Like,
I wouldn't have cared. Like, Liverpool have had a poor start to the season. Do you think I would have cared about the performance? I just want the result.
Like, if you if you look at it, like yesterday's game, I'm looking at it right now. The penalty, if you include the penalty, you beat them on XG by 2.2 to 1.1. That's what it says. But obviously, a penalty is like ridiculous XG, and also Steve Cook decides to punch the ball in the air. Right? If you take that away, they should have scored at least once. They should have scored at least.
You watched the game. How many quality chances did they have?
They had quite a few chances where you sat there and said, "You know what? He should do better."
Lloris made one save. Lloris made one save.
But
again, day, you know the
goal from 5 yards
away.
What do you mean? Is
Like-
this the Tottenham way? What are you talking
Like,
about? We're
come
winning
on.
games.
No.
And you know,
Is this the Tottenham way?
we haven't. Look, okay. Let me just be honest. We haven't been great in all of our games. There's been halves of football where we haven't been good, but we have the players that can turn it on and score goals. We will score a lot of goals. We will beat a lot of teams. And to say that we got battered in a game where we comfortably finished 2-0, and it should have been more. In another day, Son was through on goal, should have scored. Kane was through on goal, should have scored. Kulusevski had a chance. Højbjerg had a chance. I can name up team amounts of chances where we had that we actually should have scored. So to say we got battered it's mental to me, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And you can play all the fancy football in the world, try and walk the ball in, and you don't score. It doesn't make sense.
Patrick, I love the hold on, Egal. I love the loyal work that you're doing. I really do.
It's not loyal work, because we scored since Conte's come in. We scored the most goals.
Patrick,
Conte's picked up the most points since. So there's loads of like when people like you, David, say these things and there's no like logic behind it. It don't make sense, because even Kaz went and pulled up and said, "Oh, you know what? My bad. Tottenham have actually picked up a lot of points." Son scored the most goals last season. Kane was up there
last year. You're playing better football at the end of last year than you have.
I admit we haven't played great football.
I'm not talking about last season. Let's forget last season. We've done that with Arsenal. We've done that with Man United. Right, cool. If we look at Spurs over the past 4 games, if you continue playing like that over 38 games, you are not going to finish where you want to finish.
Why would we though? There's no, we won't play like that over 38 games. There's no way. But to say we get battered when we're actually comfortably beating teams,
it's not in Forest, man.
Yeah, but you said we got.
They should have scored. They should have scored.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, isn't it? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. They didn't.
If they scored their goal when they should have scored their goal, then it's 1-1, and then. Yeah.
David, at no point on Sunday did I feel worried or under the cosh. I can't say that. I was watching the game and I was like, okay, Forest are trying it. They huffed and puffed, but I never felt like, oh shit, we're under the cosh and Forest are going to score. That's just me. I didn't really feel threatened by them.
What I would say this is that the fact that the stats show that how many points Conte's won since he's arrived, and he's been here nearly getting 9 months or so now. There is sustainability in this. That there just is. People think I don't rate Tottenham because I predicted them coming outside the top 4. It's only because I think that Chelsea and Arsenal are going to be better, but I still think they're going to be very, very good, very, very hard to beat, and we kind of saw that yesterday. And the one thing about them is they're playing a different brand of football to like 90% of the rest of the Premier League. It's pragmatic. They absorb and they pounce on the counter. And the fact that they don't need Son to be at his scintillating best to still win games, again, should be a scary notion to rivals, because if Son wasn't like if Son or Kane weren't performing, they found it hard to win. You've got Kulusevski now, you've got Richarlison that's chomping at the bit to come on and play, and you're now going to start to see more rotation now that we're moving to 2 games per week. I always kind of hate the opening 3 to 4 games because there's 1 game a week and you don't see as much rotation. But I do think, look, Spurs are serious. They're really serious, and I don't think they're boring per se because teams attack them. It makes the game cut. There's a lot of jeopardy in the game. I think they're being smart in terms of what they're doing. They're going about things with a very different approach than most other teams. Liverpool, City, United are trying. Arsenal are now doing it. Very much a possession-based style of football. And even like Chelsea do that as well. Chelsea aren't a sit back and absorb pressure and counter-attack team. And not, in my view, like you try to progress the ball. And Spurs are just going about it in a different way. And I think that's what makes them very dangerous, is they're kind of like, I don't want to call them anti-football or fossil football. They're just going about it in a very, very different way, whether they look good or not. But the points and the wins and the victories like count for themselves, which is why I think we could actually be on for one of the greatest Premier League seasons of all time. Like, this is just going to be such an amazing season because, was it you said, David, behind the scenes, and I stole it at the beginning, but the first time since May 2017, so we're talking over 5 years that you've had all 6 of the top 6 win. And Man United are going to get better. Chelsea have got signings coming in. Arsenal go from strength to strength. Spurs are what they are. And honestly, and Liverpool will get better. Like, I know Liverpool were bad in the opening 3 games, but anyone who thinks Liverpool are staying at that level for the whole season, I think it's crazy. And City are just what they are. But yeah, I don't think Spurs are a bad team. Super chat here says Arsenal getting an unconvincing win at home to Fulham, winner's mentality. Spurs getting an unconvincing away win to Nottingham Forest is lucky bastards, is what Jaden says. That's a fair point.
I see it the other way around, actually. I see Tottenham getting a lot of credit for that game against Wolves. And our game that we played last week, we weren't getting any credit. We weren't getting as much plaudits. because we beat a poor Bournemouth side 3-0.
Well, I think the Bournemouth thing was, didn't I see a meme where your goalie said not many people will like dominate Bournemouth, and then Liverpool. That was a great. I love a meme.
Bournemouth team screams League One football.
Joe says Mourinho got 100 points with 121 goals. Jose equals GOAT. He's not the GOAT, Fergie is, but thank you. Comparing Jose ball to suffer ball is funny. Peak counter-attacking football and breaking records to Conte sit back and sleep tactics, laughing my arse off. Egal talking rubbish. Holland play good football, but have not won the World Cup. Italy don't play good football, but I've won 3 World Cups, is what Dinesh has got to say.
Fair point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's a very good point. That deserves a little bit of a.
I will say that international football is knockout tournament football.
I get that. I totally get that. We had a comment says, what about Arteta? Well, Arteta's walked straight into a top job, and he's starting to come good. So maybe Villa fans should just give Gerrard 3 years. That's true. Newcastle got laughed at for getting Eddie Howe over Gerrard. Listen, when people. The way Eddie Howe is written off as a bad manager because he took Bournemouth down was crazy. Like, if you know what budget he worked with at Bournemouth and what he did, man had Charlie Daniels. Listen, I met Charlie Daniels. I used to go out with Charlie Daniels' girlfriend's best friend. He's an Orient, like he's a League One level player, and this guy was in the Premier League with them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what he did with Bournemouth was ridiculous, and they didn't spend any money. Like, he's now at a club spending money, and Newcastle were looking good. This guy's got some maximum producing output. That is like, honestly, someone's got to investigate Eddie Howe's bloodline, because that is like getting wine from water, like, bread from stone. That is Nazareth settings, bruv. Like getting maximum to actually produce something. That is Jesus level settings, bruv. I'm telling you. I can do that because I be a Christian by birth. The hype about Tottenham and Conte is playing the same way as Jose was. And you all started. Sorry, we already had that one there. The didn't look great at the weekend. Yeah,
no, it's not true. When we played under Jose, we were struggling to even get 1 or 2 shots on target. Same as Nuno. With Conte, yes, we soak up pressure, but when we pounce and attack, we're dangerous. It's completely different styles of football.
I agree. I did want to ask you very quickly before we move on to Liverpool and City, but. Dan James is heavily linked.
Oh mate, I hope this is a big smoke screen. I really do. I hope it's a massive smoke screen and we go for someone else. Because if we get in Dan James, oh my god,
from Leeds,
lose it. Yeah, Dan James, bro. I know.
Man United.
Yeah, I know. We hope for our sake there's another Dan James, but there ain't. It's that guy. Yeah.
Terry trying not to get cancelled. You can't be cancelled for making a joke about Jesus. That's in the acceptable category, so it's there. I mean, it's all good. You know what I mean? It is that Jesus is allowed. I want to talk Liverpool before we move on to Haaland. We are talking Haaland on the show, but Liverpool 9 goals. Are you back? Like, are you looking at that performance again? Trent was balling. I mean, it was weird that Mo Salah didn't get a single GA in the whole game, but Liverpool 9 goals. Is it all fit? Are you all better now, JJ?
Yeah, man, we're gonna win the league, man. No, come on. Let's wheel it in. I mean, look, great performance. I think it's a statement to go and score like 9. Scoring 9 goals against any team. Do you know what I mean, in pro football is a massive feat. So it's good to go and see it. We did tweak a couple of things in the system, which meant that the likes of your Elliott, your Diaz were a bit more freer and could just cause damage, which was good to see from a Liverpool perspective. But Bournemouth are really bad. I mean, for me, that they're going to finish bottom of the table. They're going down. They're conceding too many games. Scott Parker, very, very suspect. Very, very suspect as a manager. I mean, he's changed the back 4 like it's 4 times now. So the back 5 and the back 4 like 4 times now in every game. We've got to wheel it in as Liverpool fans. I mean, it's a good kind of stepping stone, but now I need to see consistency. So we got Newcastle on Wednesday. Can we go and get one?
That's a tough one.
Not really, not anymore. No Saint Maximan and no Bruno Gomes.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, apparently, apparently.
Oh, yeah, Maxi pulled his hammy, innit? He walked off kind of like, Ooh.
But that's what I'm saying. But we go and obviously get a 3-4-0 now in that game, and then go into that Everton game. Then we'll see what's starting to, cook up, and we'll see if form's going to turn. But as it is now, good stepping stone, good bounce back ability considering the poor result against United. But we'll see where that ends up, because we go and draw or lose that game. Do you know what I mean? We're back at square one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you think you need another signing in midfield?
Facts. I mean, look, we need another signing. Look, we need like, that's my point. We need about 2 or 3. If you're thinking about it, I think I've spoken about it a lot. The way we play, it's so intense that we rely on the percentages. So the percentage for Henderson to go and be able to get out and win that second ball 9 times out of 10, or Milner to win it 9 times out of 10. Now, as time goes on, those percentages will decrease. So if that means we're winning the ball 8 out of 10 now, or 7 out of 10, even though we're winning the ball at a consistent level, we've still got all this possession, we're not as effective, and therefore we're more susceptible to the counter. Me, I'd like to see a system change. I'd like to see us play in a different way to be able to go and break down low blocks. Now, that doesn't mean, oh yeah, we need a signing to be able to go and do that. But considering how we play now, we need about 2 signings. So we need like another forward. We need a couple midfielders. Even I'd say 3. I'd say 3. But
I mean, yeah, 3. Obviously, you'd want more signings, but realistically, FSG and that. Yeah. Moneyball. The Moneyball you all lot were talking about has come to haunt you, and I'm so happy about that.
No, I mean, you say it's come to haunt you, but it depends what the club view as success. Now, as fans, we want to go and I want to go and dominate. I want to go and challenge City. I want to go and beat. I want to win 5 in a row, like every fan does. But if the club are looking at it and saying, you know what, we've done this. Now this is our 5-year cycle. We're now going to regroup and we're going to sign a Luis Diaz that is going to come good in 2 or 3 years, and we're going to get a Nunes that's going to come good in 2 or 3 years. And those are the type of players that we're getting. Fabio Carvalho, and we're trying to drop the average age of the squad. They're probably looking at it and saying, if we get top 4. That's comfortable for us as a club from the top, because then we're going to be able to go and compete in the next 2 or 3 years. As fans, we don't want to go and see that, but that's the model that FSG have. That's Moneyball. That's how it works. That's how it works. So that's another discussion. That's another discussion in terms of ownership.
With that mentality, you will quickly become the 3rd best team in this country. Very
quickly become the 3rd best team. I mean, depends, because that drop off could be we stay 2nd and just drop off by points. Do you know what I mean? It's not a thing like we're going to go and end up 5th when we're challenging for 4th. Like, that's not going to be the case. That's not going to be the case.
How far are you guys? How far are you away from having like a fully fit team? Like 6 injuries, 7 injuries?
I mean, yeah, we've got a starting 11 of injuries at the moment, and suspensions. So, I mean, Curtis Jones and Matip are back in training now. Our new right back Calvin Ramsey is also back in training, full-fledged training. So they're coming back. And then, yeah, those 3. And then, obviously, we've got Thiago to come back. We've still got
like a month, 2 months?
Thiago, you do it is you never know with Liverpool. You just never know. They'll tell you it's just a niggling injury, and then he could come back in November, December. We don't know. But I'd say in a couple of months. I'd say just on average, but you just don't know with Liverpool.
I think by the time we get to around the World Cup, Liverpool will be the Liverpool of old, and all these things will just be the first couple of games. We're just worried for no reason. But unless you address the midfield, I don't see you guys challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you mean. But if challenging you mean being up there with City, like I agree. I think it's that, or it's a system change, which. What way are they go right now?
I just don't think you're going to come 2nd this year. I don't think you're going to come 2nd this year.
So you think it's going to come 2nd, Chelsea?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Do you want to repeat that? Put that on the record again?
Yeah, I'll put it on the record right now. My top 4 prediction is City 1st, Chelsea 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, Tottenham 4th. That's my top 4 prediction. And then I think Arsenal actually might win Europa, which kind of worries me, but whatever. We move. That's it.
Well, I mean,
fair enough. It's. I think Liverpool will be okay. I do think Liverpool will be okay. One of the other title contenders, and I more want to speak about a particular player, in their team, but Haaland, a hat-trick, 6 goals in 4 games. I stand by my prediction at the beginning of the season. The injury pending, he will break Mo Salah's goal scoring record. He's got six down already. Was it 27 to go? Only 4 games in. Forest next. They leave so much space in behind. Erling Haaland, is he the best striker in the Premier League already?
Yes.
No, there's a guy called Harry Kane who's third all time. How can you be saying that Haaland's better than Kane already? Like,
I'll be real.
Third all time, what?
Third all time in Premier League history in terms of goals scored.
Oh, he's tied right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tied with Andy Cole, and he's going to obviously beat that. Harry Kane is. Haaland is young, and obviously he is. Yeah, he's going to be sensational. He already is, but right now Kane is better than Haaland. Of course he is.
I've got a question.
Finishing, passing.
He's not a better finisher than Haaland. He's not a better finisher than Haaland. No,
of course Harry Kane is. Inside the box, outside the box, left foot, right foot. Come on, bro.
Now, David, your reaction is actually comical. How can you be like, like we've compared him to like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. This is Harry Kane, one of the best strikers we've seen.
I will admit I am biased because everyone.
Of course you are.
But I am a Borussia Dortmund fan, right? I basically am, right? I've watched Haaland for 2 years, and I sat here last year and I had a gal telling me that Lukaku is better than Haaland right now. And that was obviously
Lukaku, but
I'm telling you right now, Haaland is better.
That's where he was getting the comparisons to Lewandowski and all them questions there. He was listening to Daniel.
He's better. He was scoring almost as many goals as Lewandowski in Germany, but Bayern Munich are streets ahead, absolute streets ahead of Borussia Dortmund.
Bro,
he's in Man City.
I've got a question.
He's going to He's going to blow Harry Kane out of the water. Even if Harry Kane out of the water, it's not going to be close.
Look, let me to go, Daniel. Even if you wanted to go and say, "Oh, you know what? Haaland's finishing's better than Kane's." Cool. Kane's all-round gameplay is ridiculous. It's you can't compare. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you can't go and compare the two. Like right now, yes, Haaland's younger, so yes. We can go and talk. When he's 28, the ceiling can be higher. I'm not talking about that. But right now, you're talking about the player that's third top goal scorer of all time. That's looking on record to go and break Shearer's. Like, this is madness. It's madness.
Haaland stayed for enough time. He breaks Shearer's.
The better footballer as well. No, but if we're talking about who's the better footballer, Kane is a better football player as well.
Kane is the better football player. Come on.
Who's the best striker in the Premier League?
The best striker. I've got a question for you then. Right now, it's currently
Harry
Kane.
It's Harry Kane. It's Harry Kane.
I got a question for the people that are watching as well. Yeah, if as a striker right now, who would you rather have you running at you, Kane or Haaland?
Running at you,
running
at you. I'd rather have Kane
inside
running
the 6-yard box.
But in terms of actual decision making, vision, passing ability, and scoring, in terms of who's gonna, it's Kane all day long.
Oh, but how does that make him a better striker?
He is a better striker. He's a better finisher. He's a more complete player.
Than him. He's not.
Oh, come on, bro.
No, he's not. In the 60 inside the box, Haaland has the ability to not only score with power and precision, but he can do both. He can do both ridiculously.
I've never seen.
Kane can do more though. Kane can assist as well. Kane can do more. Kane can do way more than.
I don't like Tottenham at all, but I'm going to be impartial here. I really do believe Kane is a better overall footballer than Haaland. But that wasn't Terry's question. Terry, what was your question again? Who's the better striker overall, or just who's the better striker?
I said striker, and let me maybe rephrase that. Who right now is the most devastating goal scorer? Who is the best goal scorer of the two right now? Like, do you think that, and look, one's got 6 and one's got 4 goals, and I take that into consideration. When I look at Haaland, listen, everyone knows I think Harry Kane is world class. Equally, I don't like him being called a Premier League legend. I don't think you can be a Premier League legend until you've won. It isn't just winning the Prem, it's winning trophies and an abundance of as a Premier League player. And the only reason I say that is because I have standards. And it's like, if you start comparing Aguero and Kane and these types of players, of course, Henry's, Rooney's, when you start comparing them all, there's loads of statistics. This stat, this record, that record. But then there's this trophy tally that they've all helped win, and Kane ain't got one. And I feel like that's a big thing missing, because without trophies, I don't think you can be considered as successful. However, like Haaland right now, there is this. He reminds me of Kane when Kane first started coming through and scoring the goals. There was his unpredictable, devastating element, and young players have that, where the slightly elder statesmen don't. Like you lose a bit when you get to Harry Kane's age. Harry Kane is still world class, but Kane, I think maybe that youthful exuberance, that speed, you move a little bit faster, and that will disappear in 5 to 10 years with Haaland as well. But Haaland, irrespective of whether he's better than Kane or not, he's already proven he's the real deal. It's why
Yeah,
I've always placed him. I've
100%.
always placed him ahead of Mbappe because I feel like he's done it in harder leagues. And Mbappe, it will always twist my words. I think Mbappe is fucking sensational. But your league form, what you do at league level is the bread and butter. And when you're in the 5th/6th hardest league versus the third and now the hardest league in the world, and you're delivering, that is levels. And when you're scoring goals in the Prem, when you're scoring goals in La Liga, for me, they count more than goals in the Bundesliga, Serie A. Definitely more than goals in League A. They do, because it's a harder league. Yes, I know Liverpool battered Bournemouth this week, right? No, but how many Bournemouths are there in the Prem on a regular basis? The difference is you will literally see in Germany and in France, PSG will do that to how many teams per year? Maybe not 9-0, but how many teams a year will they just batter and are easy?
Like 6 or
how
7,
many times a year will PSG have a big Champions League game on a Tuesday and rest 13 players for a league game on the Saturday?
Yeah.
Prem teams can't do that. Like, our league's so much harder and more competitive in comparison. And that isn't said by the media or some Brexit voter. That is what is told to us by the foreign players that join this league. They go, my God, the difference is crazy. And Haaland's come here and he's done what I always knew he would do. When he went to the, everyone said, he's only scoring goals at Salzburg, went to the Bundesliga and delivered. Will he do it in the Champions League? Smashed records. No one has scored as many Champions League goals as him in the level of the amount of games played in the history of that goddamn competition. He's come to the Prem, and I think only Diego Costa has more goals in the opening 4 games that you played in the Prem than him. I think him and Aguero both have 6 in 4. I think Diego Costa had 7 in 4. So far in his career, everywhere he's gone, he's smashed the records. If you look at him for his age in Europe, the only striker in European football history with more goals at this age was R9. That's why I say that potential, current form, no one as a striker has been better than Haaland, barring R9 in the last 40, 50 years of European football as a number 9. I'm not saying that he was a better footballer than Zidane, a better footballer than Ronaldinho, a better footballer than Paul Scholes. I'm saying as a striker, as a finisher, only R9's numbers, and numbers as a striker are what matter, compare. And on a Champions League level, he blows people away. He really, really does.
Can I also say as well, going by league goals, right? Harry Kane in the past 2 years has scored 40 league goals, right? In the past 2 years, Erling Haaland has scored 50. And bear in mind, the Bundesliga has 34 games and Harry Kane's played 38. I'm just going to leave it at that.
What does that mean?
He scored more goals in less games.
Yeah, in the Bundesliga. Let's exactly.
Oh my God, we're gonna do this. Champions League. Do you want to go Champions League then? We can do Champions League. Oh wait, Harry Kane, he struggled.
Kane's got 20 goals in 26 games in the Champions League. So what are you?
Yeah, and Haaland's outscoring him like.
Yeah, but Haaland plays more regularly in the Champions League. So let's not do this. Harry Kane is up there with the best.
I'll put a bet on with you right now that Erling Haaland, obviously, apart from injuries, Erling Haaland scores more goals than Harry Kane.
Not apart from injuries. Just do it. If he gets injured, he gets injured.
Fine,
that's the game.
What do you want the bet to be?
Let's do it. £100. £100.
I'm a student, man. I don't have that kind of money.
I'll cover you. I'll cover you.
You'll cover me. Okay, cool. We'll do that.
The disrespect on Harry Kane is mental. What is it?
That means Terry takes the winnings.
Right now, Kane is on 4 goals. Haaland's on 6. Harry Kane looks fit. He looks hungry, and he's going to continue to score.
Sorry. Breaking news. There is reportedly no wedding for Donny van de Beek. You know.
Who's Joshua Jack? Is that a legit source, or are you just like?
No.
Sky now saying it.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say this to you boys as well, right? What multi-millionaire gets married on a fucking Wednesday? That's what working class people do, because hiring that hall on a Wednesday is cheaper.
It's cheaper.
You think Donny? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No one gets married on Saturday anymore because it's cheaper. You think Donny's all footballers wait until until the end of the season? But listen, anyway, sorry. Listen, Patty. There's no disrespect on Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a better footballer.
No, David's disrespecting Harry Kane. The way he's talking about him like he's some bum or something.
I'm saying that I think the best striker in the world right now will outscore him. That's it.
Well, you think he's better than Lewandowski and Benzema as well? And
I think he's been held back by Borussia Dortmund, if I'm being honest. If you put him in a top team, he would have scored about 30, 35. Personally.
We'll see. We'll have to see then.
I'm just saying, this he's a joke. I've watched him for 3 years now, like week in, week out. He's an absolute freak.
And you've watched Harry Kane for how long? And you don't think Harry Kane is...
No, it's not about that Harry Kane's not a freak. It's that Erling Haaland is more of a freak.
Haaland is more athletic and more dynamic. We get
it's like Anthony Joshua is not a bad boxer. It's just that Tyson Fury is better than him. He just is. Like they're both amazing. They're both like generational talents, but one's just better than the other. And I think Haaland's better.
Yeah, but one that if you're talking about Tyson Fury and you're equated to boxing, Kane's more like Tyson Fury in terms of he's the better boxer. Like Kane's the better footballer. Anthony Joshua is the one that's more athletic.
But you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say in it.
Come on.
Like, who can I? Okay, fine. We'll do it like this. Daniel Cormier and John Jones. Okay, Daniel Cormier was like older statesman, knew the game, and then John Jones is like 25 and he beat him. Okay, if we want to really make the equivalencies like that, we could do that. But I'm sorry, Haaland's he's just a freak. He's a freak.
Let me just put it down to this. Haaland is taking over. Kane, you've had your good time. You're going to continue to score goals, but Haaland's going to be the poster boy. Haaland's going to be the best striker very soon. Haaland's going to be taking over the mantle as that leading attacker from Salah, from Kane. Everyone in the league are going to be put on notice by the end of this year. Everyone's going to know going forward for the next couple of years, Man City and Haaland are going to be at the top of the goal charts every year. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to who's going to be better going forward.
Look, I'm just going to say this. Listen. There's always a passing of the mantle, as it were. Harry Kane is still world class. Harry Kane is still absolutely brilliant. But it has been confirmed by Sky Sports that Donny van der Beek is not getting married this weekend, and that makes the Frankie De Jong news very, very intriguing.
He's coming United.
He's coming to England on Wednesday.
Is he getting married at Old Trafford?
Can you imagine? Do you know what's funny about this Frankie De Jong news? I did the video earlier, and it was like, clickbait, he's here for a wedding. I'm like, I have this issue with people on Twitter people that are like, do you think content creators should reveal the opinions of their videos on the tweet they put out about it? And some guys are like, yeah, you should. I'm like, bro, that's like, imagine you watch a movie trailer and they reveal the plot twist and the ending. I only tweet my content because I want people on Twitter to come and watch it. Why would I tell you what I've said? Of course, there has to be an element of a headline and a hook. Hooks are all now called clickbait, but it's like, yes, Frankie De Jong is in London. He's there for a wedding. Well, it turns out he's not, you fucking morons. That's why we should have watched the video, because what I said in the video is this. I said that the wedding report, the holiday report, I said maybe they're just coming to London because you can get some of the best wedding dresses in the world in London. Maybe that's why they're here. But at the same time, I 110% said this because I stand by it and mean it. I was like, I get a little sneaky feeling in my loins that there'll be another big push from this. But interestingly, some guy.
What if he goes to Chelsea or Arsenal?
Yeah, oh mate, well, he ain't going fucking Arsenal. I was going to say this is so cool. Someone just sent me a video. They went, this guy has like shown Dharmesh saying it on Sky, right? But it's so cool. The guy's watching it. I'm actually really impressed. I'm very, very humbled by it. Let me show you guys this real quick. Let me get this on the screen. Let me just mute the sound, right? So the guys put the video. I'm going to pause it. And the guy's got the video playing, right? And I'm going to see if you guys can. Let me put it in big. So the guy's got the video playing. I'm going to put us to the side like this, right? And the guy's got the video playing. But watch.
Donny van der Beek.
Oh, hang on. I want him to play
it.
He wouldn't be getting married. He's talking. We're not going to let him speak because of copyright and stuff. That's the guy's. What happens? The guy's got notifications. Whoever this guy is recording it, he just his phone screen recording keeps doing. Come on, fuck off with your notifications. Go back to look who's on there. Look who he watches. It's us. Look who we are. It's the Terrace. Go on, whoever this is on YouTube, I'm gonna get your name up now. Whoever shared it, I can't shut that now. Why is it not letting me shut it?
Spoke to somebody.
Stop talking, mate. Hang on a minute. Yes, man, you watch the Terrace. Whoever you are, he does follow me. I'm gonna follow him back just for that. There we go, my old mate. Thank you very much indeed. Make sure you check out my account. Nearly 90,000 followers. The blue tick has really worked. And also, just in case anyone cares, someone's hacked the CCTV at Carrington because Antony has arrived.
Wow, you lot go all out, boy.
I know,
Football fans are evolving.
I know. I want to big up my guy though. That it shows people watches. It was just cool. I was watching it, and then my face, our thumbnail appeared. So I'm very, very happy with that. Top man for watching the Football Terrace. You're absolute legend. Are Spurs still targeting any players before the deadline day? Yes, they're looking at Dan James. Dan, you know what's funny, right? Like Spurs' window is the most overrated window there has been. Basuma, top class. Richarlison, meh, right? Perisic, old.
Wow,
Forrest,
you're really doing this, Terry. Richarlison has come on in every game and made a big difference.
Who?
No, Richarlison. Has he not come on and made a big difference?
Richard,
is he not a good player?
He's mad. He's beige, bro. He's beige walls. This guy, he is lemon and herb. That's what he is, bro. Lemon and herb.
Who, Richie? Wow,
yes.
Okay. Well,
lemon and herb.
Right.
You know what I had today that was really, really nice? I went to Wagamama's. I had some cauliflower bang bang. Really, really good.
Bang bang cauliflower.
Bang bang cauliflower. That's the one. I think cauliflower bang bang. At least I didn't call it a croissant, right? You signed a sub goalkeeper.
Forget Fraser Forster. No one cares about that. But Richarlison, top player. Perisic, top player. Richarlison, very good.
Perisic is old, bro. Man,
he's still good though. He's still good.
He's all right. Last of the summer wine settings, bro. Do you know what I mean? Nora Batty, we're gonna call him. Nora Batty.
And Basuma is a good player as well. I think. Yeah.
Good. Overrated window.
We'll see how we end up. Where the chips land, and then we'll judge the window.
If you don't agree with me, I will not let you back on.
I don't agree with you. There you go. I'm handing in my notice, people.
Patty knows 100%. He's been around me enough that that is not my way. I would never ever do that. I am not that arrogant. But there we go, people. Terry's still on the Spurs hate train. There's no hate. I like Spurs. My dad's a Spurs fan. My dad should just bought me that bike, shouldn't he? And I wouldn't be so angry at his football club. You know what I mean? It's my dad's fault. Terry flicking matches out at the fuel again. Maybe a little bit of that. Little bit. Bang bang gravy chip. There we go. Richarlison tried to do a nanny and got taken out. But when he got tackled, by the way, that's one of our video editors there, Sam. Hope you're good, bro. When he got taken out, I'm not gonna lie, I cheered. I don't like that showboating stuff.
I was about. What's your lot's thoughts on that?
He's a prick.
For me, if that happens, I think about Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies. Like it's one of the ones where if he leg got snapped, I wouldn't care because
that's a bit far though.
What I mean by that is, maybe I'm being a little bit flippant. What I mean is, when you wind up a fellow opponent, what I mean by this is, it's not nice for them to get hurt. But if you kick a bee's nest and get stung, I don't care. And when you start winding up an opponent, you know a bad challenge is coming in. So you are goading. If you hold a red rag to a ball and you get hit by the ball, I don't feel sorry for you. You start goading your fellow opponents and they put a bad tackle in. If you end up with a bad injury, a broken leg, a ligament damage, missing games, you brought that on yourself, is what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I would feel bad, but what I mean is you're asking for it.
Do we not want to see players express themselves and show skill?
No, you're too.
I was going to say that when Ronaldo's at the byline, I mean, at Arsenal doing all the step overs for no reason. I mean, no one said anything. When you go, they did. I remember when Ronaldo did it and he's been clattered. The commentators have always said the same thing my whole life. When you showboat and mock a fellow opponent, you're going to get a bad tackle. I've always felt that's been said.
Look at Neymar. He got injuries in France the first couple of years because
he got booked. He got booked for showboating as well. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
which is but for me, I don't know. Like football's I hear that and I get it, but football's also entertainment. I want to go and be able to go and see stuff like that.
You're beating.
What happens when Ronaldinho does it? But everyone loves it.
Everyone loves it. That's my point.
No,
I want to see that.
No, I think it's different when you're 2-0 up and the game's over and you're like, I'm going to do kick-ups. If you're doing kick-ups at 0-0 when the game's in the balance, I'll give you its flair. But when you're doing it when you're winning, and it's like, we've won. It's like in boxing, right? I'm a big fight fan. Prince Nazim Hamid would stick his chin out, whether he was winning a fight, drawing a fight, behind on the points. That's what he did. That was his style. But if a fighter is like 10 rounds up they're battering this guy, and then they start showboating. There's an element of, oh, come on, mate, you know you're better than him. Why you're taking the piss? And equally, this isn't two equal teams that you're showboating against. You are showboating against a team that you are superior to, and there's an element of punching down to it where people are like, you mug. And listen, Richarlison didn't need to do it. If he ends up with a bad injury, I would have felt sorry for him. But at the same time, it's like, well, mate, you kick the bee's nest. You get stung, bro. That's on you, G.
Fair enough. It's always good to hear people's opinions. I think some people have gone to.
Nah, joking.
when Brennan Johnson kicked him, I was like, "Go on, son, take that yellow with pride. Take it with pride." Again, if he got a red card, I would have said go further, but unfortunately,
no. But that would have been silly, though. Do you know what I mean, from Brennan Johnson? Now he goes to go and try to take it into hands. He gets a red card, then I'm not for it.
Match
it swings and roundabouts, in my opinion.
Someone here said that's victim blaming. Oh, bro, we're not taking that. But, do you know what I mean? Well, there is some victims are at fault. Like if you're one of them geezers in a pub. No, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you're one of them geezers in a pub and you're giving it Billy Big Balls, this is the way I look at it. If you're in a pub, I'm one of these people in life that I don't think anyone should be attacked per se. But if you're one of them men in a pub that can't fight and you're talking to grown men like you're a fucking gangster and one of them punches you in the face, I don't feel sorry for you. You've asked for it. If you can't fight in society, don't mouth off of people that can. I just feel like, you know, that is what I mean by it. That is where if I see a grown man get punched by another grown man when you've given it the big un, I don't feel sorry for you. It's simple as that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Some people ask for it. Now, legally,
Terry, would you then say that Liverpool winning 9-0 is a bit, from a professional standpoint, is disrespectful because they had won the game? They can just go and keep the ball, but they're getting for the 9th, the 10th, the 11th. That's now getting to a point where it's like,
that's a good point. I didn't think you tried very hard. I think you could have got 15. One of your goals, though, the offside goal was a weird one because I get the rule states if a player makes a play for the ball when you're offside, it's a goal. But there was a chance the other day where, anyway, with Carrasco, I digress. Breaking news: Carrasco is Carrasco going top?
Carrasco apparently Tottenham. Dan James might have been a smokescreen after all.
I called
it. But then he's going to go in. You're going to pay 60 mil for him, and then he's going to like.
No, he's not. He's worth.
His release clause is 60 million euros.
Yeah, but he's quoted at less than that.
You know what? That's it, guys. That's it. Tottenham get Carrasco, they're winning the league.
I'll stop it, Egal.
Well, it's a very good forward.
Him and Perisic are going to play the same position.
No, Carrasco's left foot, right foot. Don't underrate that guy's sick. He even came back to Atletico, and in the Atletico side got double figures in assists. His
time has passed. His time has passed, man.
He's 28 years old, man. A hardy.
His time has passed.
I can guarantee you this: if we're 2-0 up against, 2-0 up against anybody. If we're 2-0 up against Arsenal with 10 minutes to go and Antony starts doing keepy uppies and gets a bad tackle, you will not see me defend it. I don't do it. Listen, I remember when I was doing YouTube videos before most of you guys were even around in this scene, David was probably still being breastfed. It was so long ago, right? It took him like a long time ago, Bitty and them things, right? I got cooked by the top Reds because I wanted Rooney banned for diving. And I did a whole video on it, a match reaction. I'm saying I want him banned for diving. I've been calling, and anyone that's been here from the start of the terrace, when it used to be called the Devil's Bus TV, right? It's because we had a bus that we used to hire to go to Manchester United games. We called it the Devil's Bus, and we made videos only on the bus. That's why
you learn something new every day. I never knew none of this. That's
bro, I used to run the biggest Man United London support. Me and another guy called Drum.
Are those videos still up?
No, I had to take all those videos down. Like, because it was just nothing that you would
cancel.
I need a video, Terry. You need to put something in the group chat. I need to see some content.
It wasn't that bad. It was a lot of like that. In them days on YouTube, it was more swearing and stuff. You could say and do what you want. And I just took a conscious effort a few years ago, like take it down. What I'm saying is, I remember being on the bus and saying I want Rooney banned for diving. And the reason that I had that view is that if a club, I'm one of these people that believes in self-policing. And my view was very much, if we took a stance and actually went out of our way and like banned one of our own people, what it would do, in my view, is it would set the precedent that you could get banned for diving out of the game. Arsenal had a chance with Eduardo to end diving in football, and they appealed the decision. And as soon as they appealed the decision of Eduardo diving against Celtic in the Champions League, it made it impossible for anybody else. But this was hang on, there's a photo here, actually. This is from my days as the president of the London Supporters Club. This is from 2012 in the Olympic Park on Sky News. kicking off because the Glazers just put us on the stock market. But there we go. No beard then. Clean shaven. You see the bottom line, Man United London Supporters Club there. My name's Terry. This is before I'd ever made a YouTube appearance, but this is how it all started for me. And if I didn't do that show that day on the Ian Bolton show, and I was in the green room in the Olympic Park with Carl Froch, Amir Khan was there, and I was just sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing here? It was a mad one. I only came on because they saw that I worked in banking. And I'm like, yeah, I work in banking. I know about stocks and shares. I was a cashier at the time. They had no fucking. I absolutely finessed it. And then that night, I went on Channel 5, Channel 4, TalkSport, and then started doing all the new stuff. And then Full Time Devils started about 3 or 4 months later. And yeah, it went from there. That was it. That was the beginning. That was the beginning. And it's crazy when I look back at it now. When I look back at this photo, I can see the receding hairline has started. I can see it. I can actually see it just there. But there we go.
All I gotta say is KJ's got to clip this up. This is informative.
I know. I've been making this. I've been making content before content was called content. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones. But there we go. Just a white guy. Yeah, I am definitely white. I mean, I don't know if anyone's aware. I am white. Yeah.
What's that in relation to, that comment? That's weird.
It's silly,
yeah, you know what it is as well, yeah? One thing that I get after, like, of course I'll read through some comments and all that kind of stuff when I get bored. And it's like, is this guy from Jamaica? Because the way I talk, because I'm from Southeast London, from Peckham and that, and I'm thinking, bro, like, do I have to be the colour skin of not Terry's, just everyone else that's here to talk a certain way?
Not Terry. I like that, not Terry.
But do I have to have that demographic for me to talk a certain way? Do I have to talk like this, like the Queen and all this kind of stuff? I don't talk like that shit. I'm not from there. I'm from the hood. Like, it's just the way I grew up.
That's the baddest thing for me as well, bro. Because where I grew up, like, no one speaks like that, and they're like, "Oh no, why are you?" When I'm out with my friends, people get very confused. They're like, "Why are you chilling with these guys?"
Cool.
They're who I grew up with, bro. They're my mates. It's one of them ones. You know what I mean?
Call it what it is. It's racism, bro.
I've not been kidnapped. I'm not being kidnapped. I'm good, bro. Do you know what I mean?
It's racism. At the end of the day, it's racism. Anyone that wants to come for me and act it, it's because you're a racist, bro. And I'll directly say that loud and clear. And you need to get educated a little bit more. It's because I don't sound like someone from Hertfordshire or something like that. Or down in Surrey.
Like, hello.
Hello. Because I'm white. So this is the proper way of talking. This is the way of talking. I'm from the way of talking, you know. Come on, don't do that.
I know about accents is when I see people that are from very rural areas of England, like Newcastle, Yorkshire, tweet like they're from Southeast London. They're the funniest when they're like, when someone from Yorkshire tweets, "You nah," I'm like, "Fuck off, you nah, bro. You don't speak like that. You say,
Terry,
hey, my Bob." It's like
you're meant to be from Peckham. They want you to sound like something from Only Fools and Horses with a Cockney accent.
I'm of that age where my voice is like a mixture of the two things. Like, I can hear it when I look into it back. There's a bit of slang and there's a bit of Cockney, mainly Cockney, but yeah, it changes. But listen, people, listen, my guys, listen, smash the like button, subscribe before you leave. It's a 2-hour stream. I didn't know we were going to go on that long. Just so anyone knows, man's got staying power. Simple as that. Tomorrow, Dean Jones is back on the show. Lee Gunner in the afternoon. He's getting cooked. Chelsea match reaction in the afternoon. Listen, I'm retiring Lee Gunner this year. Man's getting retired this year. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you.